Okay, I think that fixed it. It was I've got a green connection now. I didn't have anyone watching me on Facebook, so just looked like Facebook may have to just miss out. But YouTube is definitely working. So, and a better connection. You guys hear me fine?
Yes,
Loud and
sir.
clear?
Yep,
Loud and
I
clear.
hear you fine, but I don't see the YouTube link.
It actually takes it's weird with YouTube streaming. It seems to have a massive delay compared to Facebook and Twitch. Like I timed it. I think it was like 26-second delay as default from the stream to actually stuff appearing in chat. So it's definitely a learning curve in that respect.
I wonder if it's a deliberate setup, though. Maybe for some sort of protection for you to censor yourself if need be, maybe.
Be the transcoding. You get guaranteed transcoding on YouTube.
Okay. Well, folks, welcome to episode 38 of the DayZ podcast, and we have got a star-studded lineup tonight. Mr. Diddy, finally we get you on, mate. You stood us up last week, but you stood us up for very valid reasons, didn't you, buddy?
I did. It was my mother's 60th birthday, believe it or not.
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
Should get my
Happy
flowers.
birthday.
She did. They stunk.
They're Australian.
and we're also joined by Daone and Gravity Wolf because they've got a bit of an announcement they wanted to make. But you guys, both being modders, are going to be fantastic for the discussion that we've got. And Jacob Mango's agreed to come on as well to talk about the first topic we're going to be talking about. Tonight's a bit of a mix-up. I know everyone wants to talk about Namolks, but Jacob has to take off as soon as possible. So I wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of a couple of big issues first before we talk to RDiddy about what he's been up to and what he's got planned for the future and stuff like that. And that's, well, the first one we'll probably start with will be pay-to-win service. You guys heard much about it?
We all love them, I'm sure.
Some of the stuff I had sent through to me over the last week was quite shocking. I had a video sent to me that was from a Brazilian server. I'm just trying to find the link to it.
That was Asmondium put something to that in the
Yes.
podcast Discord, didn't he?
Yeah, it was quite shocking what we actually saw on that video. Did you see it, Archie?
I didn't. Honestly, I took a break from DayZ for a couple of weeks, so this is all news to me. I can imagine what it was, though. So.
It was pretty bad.
There's ways to monetize the server, and there's ways not to monetize the server, and any way of giving an actual advantage to a player is shit, in my opinion.
I think it'll be hard pressed to find anyone that disagrees with that opinion as well, to be fair.
Put some effort into, like, there's multiple channels with like menus of gear.
Yeah,
it's like being in a restaurant of fucking DayZ gear.
Yeah, it was stunning.
Full menu.
You pay this dollars, and it seems to be airdrop flares are the currency of choice for a lot of them. Not just so much giving you XYZ gear. It was giving you flares to call in airdrops and whatever you get from the airdrop. So, I guess you could say there's an element of chance still. Someone might raid you when your airdrop's coming in, but
fucking loot drops now, loot boxes like Fortnite.
Yeah, but
if I could
pub
DayZ.
We had a community. They had like 3 different tiers, and they were well into the hundreds of dollars, and they were giving things like trader money, airdrop flares, weapons, everything, and it's starting to increasingly become an issue. And we've noticed that it's always been an issue with the Brazilian community.
Yeah.
But it's starting to become more widespread for people in the US and people in the EU and the AU. So,
well, these ones are doing it quite publicly, but it just makes you start to wonder what's going on behind the scenes with some of the other servers that are out there. Are there some of these servers that people have got quiet arrangements, that it's not being publicized, and someone says, oh shit, can I buy? And they're just waiting for someone, and kind of almost grooming them in essence to become little pay piggies for buying this advantage they get over everyone else on their server.
I think something else as well. So have you noticed Namalsk cannot be monetized in any way?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
Good.
I
Good
reckon.
stuff.
How
Great
mu-
decision.
Yeah, but you can guarantee there's loads of underhand deals going on with that. People will be
Oh,
buying
yeah, for
gear and
sure.
all kinds of shit, and they just
Yeah.
won't be telling anybody. Just won't be advertising it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's one of those things where it's easy to hide that sort of thing. Like, it's one thing to have it openly advertised on like a Discord server, like, you know, this server's monetized for $5 a month. You can get this, this, or this. But to have it actually privately agreed upon in like DMs between people, no one's ever. You can't police that, you know, unless you're hacking into someone's Discord or someone whistleblows. You've got no way of stopping that. So.
Tag
know,
the
it's-
IRS.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to say, but even if you do report it, I'd say it's hit or miss if anything will ever come of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I know back in the day, before you could host your own community servers when they were with GSP only, you could report them, and if you had like decent evidence to prove it, they would shut the server down. But now that you've got community hosted servers that can be on any machine, you've got no chance.
So they just let you buy like loadouts?
Yep.
Yeah.
Loadouts, items, flares, vehicles.
I think those kind of servers are going to
Everything.
kill themselves because the guys that are going to come in that don't want to pay to win are going to leave.
Look, the more shocking story I had sent to me was as Mondian told me about how somewhere down south, it was a Brazilian or an Argentinian server that was basically a pyramid scheme. No shit. A fucking pyramid scheme in DayZ where the more people you refer to the server, the more money you made. And what happened was people started referring all these people to the server who were paying money, and then suddenly the server disappeared. And then another server popped up with the same model to start all over again. Now,
some servers that do some weird things to try and get players. There was a little while ago, there was messages going around from one server where they were going to pay, if you were a streamer, they would pay you like so many dollars per hour to play on their server.
Wow.
That's not. I wouldn't expect that to be all too uncommon, to be brutally honest with you, mate. If you look at the statistics behind it, there's a clear peak when a streamer jumps onto a server. So they're trying to capitalize on foot traffic. So I'm not surprised that people would monetize that and try to get people in on that front.
The money they were offering was crap, by the way. Like, you had to have 1,000 viewers to earn like a $5 an hour or something. It was shocking.
Yeah.
I used to get it in Twitter all the time. $50 to come play for a night, stuff like that. I never charged anybody, but because a lot of the servers were dog shit. I'm not gonna run around on an empty server and be like, ooh, ah.
Yeah, you'll generally find it's not the best server in the world
other
that'll do that.
But yeah, when I found out about that pyramid scheme, like even my son, he knows what a pyramid scheme is. And he goes, "How would anyone fall for that, Dad?" And I went, "Some people have never heard of a pyramid scheme. That's why pyramid schemes still exist, because some people have never heard of them, and they're advertised in this way that the poor schmuck sits there and think, oh shit, I can make some money just by getting people to play, not realizing they're being sucked in, and that really the only with pyramid schemes, the top few layers of people are the only ones really making any money. The rest of them are just being sucked in. So I do hope that Bohemia do some more about that, because I know some people have reported some servers lately, and I hope action gets taken, because yes, at the end of the day, if people want to spend money, that's their right, but it's one of those blights on the game that it doesn't look good, particularly when you get someone who joins one of these servers who doesn't know that it's a pay to win server, and they're just continuously getting fucked over by people who are buying gear and constantly raiding them and destroying their base and God knows what else.
Well, here's a question for everyone that's in here. For those that have gone through the process, if you want to monetize the server, you have to be approved by DayZ legal team to be able to do so, or essentially the Bohemia legal team. I'm assuming that there would be a lot of servers out there that have not received that approval that are monetizing. So I would say that it's not worth Bohemia legal team's time and effort to investigate each and every little query that comes through. It would have to be something substantial that's essentially ripping off a large amount of people before they pull their finger out and do something about it.
And it could hurt the other guys that are doing it legitimately too, like the guys that are charging for prio queue. If they start putting crackdowns in place, those guys that are using that to fund their server could get fucked over.
Exactly, but realistically as well, it's the application process to go through for monetization isn't that difficult. Like it's
the only hard part is to get them to answer you in the first place.
That's the hardest part.
Like it was hard for us to get them to respond, and even then they still didn't understand the concept of deathmatch. They still thought it was just regular old DayZ, and we're trying to explain to them that it's different, and they're treating it exactly the same. And we're like, okay, we get it. But
Keegan had the same issue with BR, didn't he?
Yes,
he had to wait
Keegan
like a month or two.
Huge troubles.
I ended up asking Sunrak to have a word with the team because, like you say, you could send them a big long email really explaining things, and you basically just got a generic copy and paste response back. Like they hadn't even really read what you'd written.
See what I did with my, because I emailed them in relation to my concept that I've got, and I tried to make it sound as lawyery as possible. So they responded within about 3 days. I got a response from them.
They probably get a lot of requests though, because it seems like everybody and their fat cousins got a server now. So
exactly,
I think more and more people are seeing it though because of all this shit like this. More and more people are seeing DayZ servers as a way to make money.
Well, my question is DMCA takedowns. You know, you can do those for mods. Is it possible to do those for servers too?
Depends.
Bohemia is the only one that can enforce it.
If the content creator has a mod on a server that they specifically didn't ask for like permission and then monetized, you have like full rights to ask Bohemia and email them, let them know to contact that person to take the mod off because you never gave any permission, and you're supposed to actually let the legal department know by email of any mods that you get approved or you get permission, just in case, you know, no false reporting happens. But of course, that's never practiced 100%. You know, most like large communities do it, but a lot of people they don't do it.
It's scary. It's scary. And buyer beware, just be careful with what servers you're joining, folks. You know, try to find out as much as you can about them. Because not all servers are created equal. There's nothing wrong with monetization of a server if it's done right, like you were saying, Diddy. You know, there's some servers that you know, some communities have multiple servers going, and it's expensive. Yes, it could be a hobby, but it's expensive, and it could add up to thousands of dollars, particularly when you're purchasing mods and all the rest of it. But there's some out there who are doing it very unscrupulously, and those sort of servers, I'm sorry to say, but if that's the way they're running, what else are they turning a blind eye to? I wouldn't touch one of those servers with a 10-foot fucking pole.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing as well. Is like as a player, like if I was going through the through the list of servers I wanted to join, if I saw one and I looked at the Discord or whatever and I saw it was quite clearly one of those pay to win, I would automatically stay away from it, but not necessarily out of any moral obligation to do so, but because there's so many servers out there now that have loot turned up quite high anyway. Like you look at it's now the wall, it was Trump's wall. Some of their servers had like 5-time loot. So you would literally go to like the little small checkpoint between Topolka Dam and Staroy. There's like 2 little tents there, but you'd find, like 6 or 7 guns, all the mags and ammo you could ever dream of, and all the gear you could ever dream of. So why would I then go and pay, say $10 a month to go or whatever else to get fully kitted on a server when I can just go onto one of those servers and in 5 minutes, completely fucking free of charge, I can go and get the exact same, if not more amount of gear anyway. It seems a bit pointless.
I think Archie's point where if you say, money-driven servers like that, I think will eventually just burn themselves out.
That's what I think too. I think they'll take care of themselves, man. Plus, if you're having trouble finding gear on DayZ, you need to go play Call of Duty, bro. There's like 7,000 guides out there on where to find shit, and it doesn't change that often. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, one by you, isn't there, Archie? Just throwing that out there.
what happened?
You've got some videos out there too, don't you, brother?
A couple, yeah. I don't really do loot guides. That's Amish said he likes us. Hello, welcome, and thanks for watching. But yeah, he's got the loot guides. But no, yeah, it's just like the shovel's the best weapon in the game anyway. So I don't know. Like I've squad wiped with a hammer, you know? Yeah, it's just I don't get it. But I think they'll weed themselves out for sure.
So that brings us to our next topic, guys. And this is one where we'll start with Jacob. We'll let Jacob talk about this one. But the backdoor to servers through some of the mods that are out there. Now, Jacob, you said to me that Expansion Mod got accused of doing malicious stuff with this.
Yeah, basically. That was just a sorry. It was just a API key to just log some data through the private testing stage. That was all. But it was accidentally left in the release for like 1 week, and yeah, we got accused of that. But that just leaves a bigger question. It took a week for it to be found by like other modders. What other stuff has been left in smaller mods? Yeah.
Right.
You got to have server owners be proactive about it.
Yeah, there's recently a mod that popped up. It was I'm not sure who created it, but it was a stamina mod to where you have unlimited stamina, and that person that made it allowed everyone to repack it, and everyone saw, oh, this is really cool. This is probably some yoinked mod. Let me just repack it as well because the author lets me. They didn't know that the mod actually had some bit of code that edits my mod. Me and Larry that made VPP admin tools. And they add themselves as an owner to the admin list because it's very possible to just override script. There's not really any security in it. The full source code is available. So pretty much they made themselves admin on any server that repackaged that mod, and they started cheating. But luckily the tool actually logs every single action by everyone, like everyone, no exclusions at all. And yeah, they figured that out. And soon enough, that mod was never used. But yeah, that person tried it. So this is the very first time I've seen it ever.
So what happens in a case where stuff like that happens? Does it get reported
well,
to...
there isn't... Well, you can report the mod on the workshop, but there really is a team does. If it's not a DMCA, they don't give a shit. Typically, that's the case.
That's pretty
so
slick,
you just
though.
have to really... You have to know the person or the creator, and at least if it's credible or not. I mean, I don't really encourage other people opening the mods and looking at it unless they really want to learn, which is okay in this case. If they have the ability to open it and have a look at the source code, and maybe if they understand anything, like that's an option you could do. But really, there isn't any concern to your like players if you install it, unless you know, like things like IPs and all of that. That's pretty secure. They can't really get that information through like mods. So yeah, maybe Jacob can expand on that.
Well, before you do, I do want to ask something, because from a pleb perspective like myself, now I've got an Apple iPhone, and my understanding that all apps that are uploaded onto the App Store are carefully screened by Apple to make sure that they don't contain anything malicious. Now, stupidly, I thought that was sort of similar with game mods, but I imagine there's hundreds, if not thousands, but then again, there's hundreds, if not thousands of Apple apps out there. Why is the same thing not happening with mods? Is it because they're free and Steam doesn't make anything from it?
With the App Store, you've got to pay $100 to upload an app in the first place. That is how they can check it. Yeah.
Okay.
With Workshop, you can upload it for free. People download it for free. That is why there's no checking.
Exactly.
God, imagine if they charged for the Workshop. That would filter out so many crap mods.
Oh, yeah.
Server packs would be happening every day.
It would also only allow, like, filter out some talent as well, and only allow the people that can pay to make mods.
Touche.
True.
It's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So, what can be done with these backdoors? You basically said someone can in the code was making themselves an owner of a server. So that
Yep.
pretty much means they could completely fuck with someone if they so desired.
Yeah, pretty much they have access to cheat tools. It's pretty much cheat. It's no longer an admin tool, it's a cheat because they would abuse it as however they wish. So, yeah, I mean, so far, like the two major admin tool mods, they have all logging and everything is like visible. So if any actions happen, always like check your logs if you're concerned with that. And yeah, I guess you really have to keep an eye on the mod that you add. It has to be something credible, but yeah.
There's no real security behind it. We used to be able to put certain variables into a state of privacy, but they changed that to allow even when you mod a class, you have access to it. You used to not have that, so then you could mark something as private, and only the functions that you write to manipulate it are the ones that can be used. So you could stop people from adding fake data if you wanted to,
Right, yeah.
but
That
now
was
there's
changed
none of that.
mostly to make things easy, on modders, but unfortunately it opens other backdoors, I guess. I don't know.
See what?
That wasn't really a
Are
protection
you
anyway.
so all right? We're sort of talking about like getting admin access here to a DayZ server, going outside the DayZ, right? So you've got a mod on a server, and you've already talked about it. You can send traffic out from that mod. So what else can you do then, if you think about that?
Well, things that are contained within the metadata that is sent through those HTTP requests, you can get IPs. You 100% can get IPs. So
For another thing that I'd like to ask, could you send so all right, so you've got a mod. Could you can send traffic out with it. Can you send out player join requests?
player
What do you
join
mean?
requests, like, hey, I would wish to join and wait for them
Yeah.
to accept it.
So you can
I'm
send
sure
join
you
requests
could.
from one DayZ server to another, yeah.
Maybe you could probably send the IP address back and then force them to disconnect on which they were trying to join and then force them to connect to the other one. So it could be a possibility.
Where I'm going
it
with
would be
this is if so
Yep.
say you sell your mod to 100, 200 servers, and then all those servers are sending join requests. You've made a DayZ botnet, no? That you could use to attack another server.
Yeah. You could create definitely a lot of traffic, but I wouldn't say if anything. It might be significant. It really depends on how they abuse the current library of sending web requests. But so far, I haven't seen it, but I have tested it, and there were some results that show it's possible. So
I'll
yeah,
tell you why
but I
I'm
haven't
going
seen
with
it in
this.
any public mod.
No, but you know what? Well, all right. So where I'm going with this, I made some major changes to my DayZ server about 3 or 4 weeks ago. No, I'm fine. It was the 17th of November and the 16th. I removed a lot of mods, installed a lot of new mods. The next day, my server was used to send out malicious traffic to another server, which I've never had happen to me before. Now, already I've as some people may know, I'm trying to investigate it, and I've already come across at least one mod that's trying to do a great job of hiding what's inside it. Now, I've never had malicious traffic ever go out from my server ever until this day.
When you say malicious traffic, what do you mean?
My server was reported as being involved in a DDoS attack on another machine.
Yep.
So obviously I had to explain that. Now I didn't have an explanation for it because I
got to do what you got to do out here, Will. It's hard.
So I had no explanation for that. So then I'm starting looking at when the attack was, and it was the day after. It was less than 24 hours after I'd installed quite a few new mods, and at least one of them is doing a very good job of hiding what's inside it. So I'm now curious.
Did you end up locating what mod it was?
Yeah, I'm not saying it while I'm streaming because I'm trying to investigate this at the moment.
Yeah, no, Roger.
I don't think it's the only one. So that's why I'm curious as to what can be done once you've got this mod on a server.
Well, I mean, if you have someone who can find where the malicious function call is or wherever they decided to start the malicious attack, you can always, if it is truthfully a mod that has features and you just want to remove that, it is a possibility that you can go get that removed and do it yourself. However, for people that aren't developers, that's like asking you to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I don't think it's right for anyone, for server owners at least, to have to go around to other modders like Mark or Jacob or myself and say, hey, can you remove this from this mod? It's malicious. We should be able to report this. This should be against terms of service. There should be some sort of
You
thing
would wonder
wrong with
about
malicious
legalities
attacking.
as well.
Say what, did he?
What are the legal thresholds here as well? Are they literally breaking the law doing this?
That's exactly why I said they should put it in terms of service, is because by technicality it's not.
'Cause
Even
it sounds like
when
it's a bit of a wild west at the moment.
yeah, when we found a mod that was using our admin tool file and it was attacking a server, like, we reported it, but nothing came of it. Of course,
Can,
they
can I
eventually
ask who
removed
you
it.
reported it to? Steam or to BI or?
I reported it to Steam. I reported it to legal. Nobody cared at all. It doesn't matter if it's malicious content, if it's intended content.
And I don't
They
imagine
just
this
care
is a
about the
problem unique
MTA.
to DayZ, is it? This would be the same for GTA servers and.
Oh, anything with mods, you would assume.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is where my head's going with it. How far does this go? So, how many mods could have all sorts of shit inside them?
And it just, like, something else I want to touch on. We all had a good laugh at what happened to Summit when someone trolled him with the Christmas trees and the presents and that. But it makes me wonder, like, what else can be done? Can people change the background? Could people change it to, nudity or, even worse on a loading screen? Is that the sort of stuff someone could do?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Giving us so
Whatever
many
you could put
ideas.
into the game. So there is restrictions of how much you can access. There is no such thing as like, oh my god, he installed my mod, now I have remote access to his computer. No, thank fuck that doesn't exist. But a typical like PBO is an add-on for the game. You can add things like scripts that will work only in game, never execute anywhere else. So it is secure in that sense, but they could always, just slap an image there that can get you banned if you're a Twitch streamer. 100%. It'll just pop up for like 5 seconds or something like that.
I mean, you
not fun.
calling out Brazilian servers in particular can get you banned on Twitch now. Like they're gonna call it xenophobia and ban you if they want. I'm super serious. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to kill the
I
mood,
remember
but
that. I
This is
remember
some
that,
this
but-
is some
Well,
scary
lucky
stuff.
lucky boy is not on Twitch right now, hey?
yeah, there you go.
No, just Brim's got to worry about that, and Ben. I think they're the only two streaming right now.
Yeah, but to be fair, no one's sitting and watching me chat shit, so I'm not too concerned. I skate under the radar at the moment, so I should be okay.
I don't know. You're doing pretty good right now. Proud of
So
you.
basically, the threat is to servers. To what about dedicated servers? What's the issue? Is there any specific issues with a dedicated server as opposed to a hosted server?
Yeah, there are some possibilities to where. So here's the thing with, if you install a mod on a server, they have full access of reading your DayZ root directory, so the install where the server exists. So if you have like any sensitive files there, make sure you don't put any like passwords, API keys. You could always put that in a subfolder and give it a different path. So because some mods are able to access and read files and like scour through the whole folder there. So yeah, that's really the main concern with stuff like that. It is possible that they could upload little bits of files to the HTTP library that exists in the game, but I'm not sure about large files. But text files most likely is very much possible.
They can get your Archon password as well to monitor
Oh
that.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. If it's
Archon
under
password, yeah.
the vanilla name and it's in a vanilla location that we can read,
So-
we can pick that up really quickly.
Yeah. With the Archon password, that's a thing. But you also have possibilities to isolate those files. You can have it's a bit technical, but server owners might know this. you can add a command line to change your BattleEye path where the folder generates. So that will keep it safe from storing within the root directory, so any mods won't be able to access that. I think someone should actually make a little guide with that. I haven't seen any people do officially how to stay as secure as possible with like Archon passwords in your root directory.
Yeah, so I think,
Bad idea.
yeah, I do think that's a good idea. Maybe Archie or Marks, if you're watching, that might be a video for you guys to do, just to it just I was really hoping a lot of people were going to watch tonight. I tried to share it as much as possible because there's a lot of people like myself, Brim, who work with servers, but this stuff's just I imagine some of this is flying straight over your head as well. It was like you didn't realize that people could get access to your servers the way
Oh
that they
well,
do.
look, me and you both made the same mistake, mate. We were streaming the fact that we were developing the server. That was our first problem.
Yeah.
So we were launching the server without having two clues as to what was actually showing on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was someone malicious in there, they would be like, all right, this guy's Archon password is this. We'll use that later. This is all, and they could get all access to that information very easily.
Yeah.
So they couldn't mess with us
But,
straight away.
But now knowing that, the other thing as well, I think we've got to come up with a way of trying to vet and identify trusted modders, because as they said, there's thousands of servers out there now, but how many modders are out there? There's people who
Even less.
There's people who I do trust, and that's you guys who are in chat here, and the likes of Mass and Winstride and so on. There's names out there, but at the end of the day, I know you guys through the internet. I don't know what you could be up to.
Do you want to know my honest opinion? What would be the easiest way? It would be to create some kind of system, whether it be a website or something like that, where essentially it'd be a mimic of Uber or something like that, which is socially constructed and people give feedback.
Hey, that's
So
on
it's
the
all based on
DayZ.
feedback.
That's on the DayZ modders Discord, or at least it used to be.
Exactly.
I paid a girl $700 plus to do mods, and she fucked me over.
Yep.
She gave all my ideas and all my stuff after I paid. We raised money, and I spent a lot of money out of my own pocket, and I'm sure Ben knows all about this. And she ended up taking all of my assets that I bought and sent to her, and all the work I had done, and giving it to another server. And I had no, really, everybody talks about DMCA and stuff, but it did me no good at all. I had no repercussions whatsoever. And I mean,
but if you were looking at the time to try to find somebody to do that, if there was a central location that you could go to, like an Etsy or somewhere like that for modding, not just DayZ modding, it could be modding for anything. It could be Rust, it could be bloody anything. And you look for a modder and go from there, and you can essentially rank people and go and choose who you want.
That's the one issue I saw with that DayZ modders Discord is if you get a bad rep, you could just change your name or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're under the radar again.
Well, and when I used to mod and own Gmod servers, we had the Gmod store. You could put job listings up, people could do paid add-ons, and of course there was DRM, so like if someone were to get the files from you, it would either block both of your servers or block the person who bought it. And we could stop people from just taking add-ons that people are paying money for and distributing them. But we don't have that in DayZ.
I think there's a
little
need for
difficult,
something
a
like
bit.
that.
Well, Bohemia, you arrogant. You gotta convince them that they should set up something like that for the community. I mean, even with Arma 3, their policy with the tools is anything created as a P3D. P3D is like a format of a model. So anything you create with some specific types, you can't really monetize or sell. So like if I create that thing and I start selling it, because I created it with their tools, I'm technically not allowed. So if they get wind of
derivative
that,
work.
you're in trouble. Yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of a issue there with what you can create for paid mods, scripts, and models and all that. It's very annoying to explain to people, but Bohemia should really come up for the future if they keep doing
Especially as
community
modding is such
for
a
their games.
backbone of their titles, isn't it, Daone?
Exactly. They should create something to where it's a bit more friendly for even the modder to even start, whatever small little thing that they have and monetize their things. But
Well, Foxy's put in my chat here. DayZ needs a developer-approved mods. Needs to do developer-approved mods like Rust.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. A little
Yeah,
check
that'd be
mark
cool.
on them. Yeah.
You know, so you the way I mean this, you might as well all be speaking Japanese to me. I got fuck all idea on what half of this is, but you know, the idea that I could then go into the workshop, look at you know, such and such has created this new mod that's, you know, most popular this week, go in and see like that little Twitter verified check mark next to their name to tell me, right, well that's a modder that's, you know, had a long history of being a very good modder, a very positive modder, never had any issues, creates good shit, you know, stuff like that to kind of set them apart from everyone else. So we all know those are the ones to go to. And if you haven't got a check mark, then,
Yeah.
you know, you can work towards it, and there should be some sort of way
Verification
of
process.
unlocking, some sort of verification process where you need to prove that you are who you say you are and that you've done certain things, and maybe it ties into the comments on the Steam work page or something, or do you know what I mean? Like however many upvotes or Steam awards you've got for your mods can
Like,
work towards
out of
that.
curiosity on this point, for those of you who've done mods and uploaded them, what information does Steam and Valve get from you to be a mod uploader?
Nothing.
They require
Yeah,
nothing.
I
You just
need
need
to
to own the game.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
need to own the game to be able to access the workshop. And other than that, you can put whatever content. You could throw porn up on the Steam workshop if you wanted to. You just have, if someone sees it and they don't like it, they'll report your ass. But it doesn't stop you from doing that.
Wow.
DayZ tools.
Boyd is blown away here.
Wow.
Well,
that's-
Foxy's put a link in my chat here. It leads to the Steam workshop for Golf with Friends. So what I'll do, if you give me a second, is I will see if it will let me share my screen into Discord for everyone to see what I'm talking about.
I like what Zombie Lee said. All we want to do is get domed with Mosins, and we have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But yeah, if you spot there, it shows developer approved.
yeah.
So you can physically tick that box, and it will only show up mods for that game that are approved by the developer of the game in question. In this sense, Golf with Friends. But imagine that was DayZ, and suddenly you click developer approved, and you've got Helkiana's mods are there.
Yep.
And you
Trouble
know,
with that is though,
and
is
various others.
you have to hire somebody to do that, which then you're going to cost 30, 40, 50 grand a year for somebody to go through and approve that. That's excess income that a company doesn't want to output, essentially.
I'd go down the route of, I'm sure some modders there would be happy to just pay 20 quid to go through an application process or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have thought pretty much any modder worth their salt would look at that and go, do you know what, that's really good. If I can get like an approved thing where the actual developers of the game that I'm creating mods for, you know, say yes, we endorse this modder, that's a positive thing.
Yes. Give me the power. I reject all mods. All the mods. I reject all.
My summer card does that, but what they do is they'll take the most popular mods and then he'll fold them into the official game, like the ones that people really like that don't break the game. I don't know if you guys play that, but
the indie dev, he's
just him and his girlfriend. Yeah, they work on the game.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit easier to do.
Yeah, he takes all the best mods.
Corporate.
Yeah.
So what if there's a mod, and it gets updated with malicious code, but it's first developer approved, but then it gets updated? How would Bohemia deal with that? You got the same problem again, or are they going to approve on each mod update?
I think the first part that needs to be done is there needs to be more accountability, more, basically for us to be streamers, to get partnered and to get monetized on YouTube. The hoops you got to.
You just have to buy followers online.
Oh yeah, but to be able to get paid and all the rest of it, you've got to give up all your personal details, tax file numbers, stuff like that. There needs to be maybe not tax file numbers because they're not getting paid. Although this does come back to the argument of if mods were able to be sold for 99 cents or whatever on the fucking workshop, it might encourage people to be a bit more professional and not stoop to.
There'd be a lot less DayZ servers, that's for sure.
Remember what happened with Skyrim? They did pay mods. Remember how that turned out?
Oh yeah, people hated
Yeah,
it.
Steam Workshop has the
Yeah.
system. System's ready to use.
But see,
But
I don't
nobody
know.
uses
All I can think of is that they must have handled it wrong, because for the life of me, I can only see the majority of positives if it's done correctly, if it's nice and cheap, because from both perspectives. One, security for the consumer. You know that the mods you're getting have been screened and vetted and made sure they don't contain anything malicious. And two, the modders are actually making some money finally, and not just doing it out of the goodness of their heart and praying that one day the work they've done might get them a job in the industry that they love working in. It's you've got fucking people selling bloody titty photos on fucking OnlyFans. The SoundCloud
4073 on
rappers.
OnlyFans.
How dare you bring my wife into this, Boydie?
But SoundCloud rappers, Spotify, people making money like that. Yet everyone still seems to balk at this idea of modders making some money for the mods they create, for the effort they put into this game. I can only see it as being a positive, but everyone just seems to, oh no, it's that sense of fucking entitlement. No, I don't want to pay for something that should be free. Yeah, it might be free for you, mate, but what about the fucking hours that go into working it? That is a more legitimate thing. Look at the shit the expansion team got for the $4,000 they raised in donations. People still bring it up. Where did the money go?
A concept
that shouldn't matter where it went.
No.
Concept that I talk about a lot on the
project.
stream for my people is that there's no reason why the Bohemia team can't, through their community management system, create a DayZ approved mod where they say, okay, we're putting out $5,000. We want a map that's to be developed, and essentially you'll get 10% of the sales profit as well.
Yeah.
And there would be a shit ton of modders that would go out there and make the best mods and the best maps and the best anything and everything that they can. It would cost DayZ a fraction of their development cost and would maximize their profits, yet they don't do it.
They already do that for Arma 3, something like that.
There's no reason why it can't be used for DayZ.
Yeah.
And I feel like
at the moment, a lot of the. I'm sorry, go on. No, you can go.
So, as far as Arma 3, it seems like they learned a lot from Arma, but the things they didn't need to learn from, they learned something from it, and now they're not doing it. Every single time, I wasn't in the Arma community, so all I ever hear is what used to be, what used to be, what used to be, and then it's not here. Why is all this suddenly changing? Shouldn't it be company policy or the way the company is ran?
Is it just a change to your personnel at the headquarters?
I feel like they're making way more money off DayZ currently than Arma, so I don't know why they wouldn't invest more manpower into it. So something like that.
Well, there was something that was brought up last time. You all were looking at player numbers. Our peak for the last 30 days hasn't happened since 2014.
True.
Yeah.
When modding was released, we quadrupled our numbers and then doubled them.
Yeah, they do need to show more love for the modders. Just somebody that like can bridge the gap between modders and players, because I've hired a lot of them and I've sat in Discord listening to them, curse and punch their computer screen. That shit's frustrating. It always breaks. The tools are antiquated. It's impossible to work with. Like I watched Mark make a little scene with like a table with some stuff on it, and it was like watching somebody work on Windows 95. So I'm not exaggerating. Like if there's a video out there you can watch, it's ridiculous.
Is that the trader mod that he teased everyone with and then he's kept it for himself?
Maybe.
As a little side note to all the developmental stuff as well, I reached out to Adam, would have been 6+ months ago, in relation to community managership. I've tried to reach out to the devs before in relation to the managers got stonewalled. But Adam actually said to me to get in touch with Bohemia Marketing, because Bohemia Marketing are the people that actually run the community management. So I was a little bit... I don't know whether the marketing team is the people that we want running the community managership, or whether it should be people from the actual community itself that have been promoted through to actually running the community managership. Because why do
Yeah.
we want somebody who's trying to sell us something running the community?
Exactly.
Everyone's
financially
outsourcing
driven.
anyway. My bad, Ben.
No, you're right, mate. No, I agree. Yeah, it just makes it seem like the community thing is really they're just financially driven. You want somebody
Exactly.
who's going to be making those tweets that make us laugh and all the rest of it, not just slinging adverts on
Yeah.
the Twitter.
The end goal is to get money out of our pocket, not to build a community.
There's a lot. I think it's clear that this game's got a hell of a lot of life left in it, and the potential for money to be earned from it still is massive. It would just take some organisation and some effort from Bohemia.
And a
maybe
great way
some
to make
initial
money would be to get some sort of system in place for these mods, Ben.
That's one way. I think some initial investment, time and investment from Bohemia could definitely do both the community and them some good.
The big question is what has to change for them to actually do that? Because it's all well and good the possibility of it happening, but they actually need to have the financial power or the financial thought processes to actually pull it off and do it.
Oh, I agree. I'm not the brain to sit here and be able to fathom it all out, but I do believe that something could be done. I think the thing is, Sunrak being lead developer, he would be the perfect guy to like do something like this and be involved in it. But it would obviously take him away from doing other things.
I think it says a lot. I think it says a lot that Adam has released a mask that was completely done by a developer of the game, and it was not monetized. It was not official. It was a mod.
Yeah, I agree.
That says a lot.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised that Adam had the ability to do what he's done. I don't think any of us are surprised by that. I think we're all a little bit surprised that they allowed him essentially to do that. Because I would have thought, and I'm no expert on the subject in any way, but I would have thought there would be something in his employment contract with Bohemia that said they own anything he creates whilst working there. Because I know a lot of companies have that when in the games.
He made the mods before he started working for him.
He probably had the intellectual property rights, I reckon.
Yeah, he's doing the mouse in his spare time. It's not like he's sat at work doing it. He's doing DayZ.
Exactly.
He's doing DayZ all day, then going home and doing it in his spare time. One man
on his antiquated laptop that he bloody
matter.
plays on.
That
his
doesn't
laptop.
matter.
Do you know
That
what I
doesn't
mean?
matter in this case because Bohemia owns all mods.
No.
True.
Bohemia owns
True.
all
Very
mods.
true.
Active derivative work.
I just think the dev team have missed a massive opportunity to make a bucket load of money because of the hype that's been put behind the mask. You would have had, let's be conservative, 5,000 people that would have bought the mask? $10 a pop?
I said this months ago.
I would say way more.
I'm being conservative though.
Yeah, no, because the console guys can't play it, and that's the biggest thing right now. You would have had every cat with an Xbox or a PlayStation would have bought that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because I think a few of us said ages ago that the best thing ever for that would have been as a DLC.
Yeah.
But then I'm always thinking about PC. Sorry, consoles. But yeah.
It would have been great if they made it official because even if they bought it off Adam and just given it out as a thank you to everyone for being loyal, or
and the buildings would have had more than 12 polygons. So
I think we do need to just take a moment to talk about Namausk and how there's finally loot in the apartment buildings, though. Because I don't know about anybody else here, but the moment I ran in to an apartment in Vorkuta and saw there was a can of food on the floor in there, I damn near filled my pants.
I just ditched the apartments.
No, don't ditch the apartments. The apartments are fucking full. I mean, it depends. I know there was 20 sort of official community servers that went up with the release of Namausk that Adam had linked to in the Namausk Discord. So, but I was the same as everyone else. I thought, there's no point in checking the apartments at this point. There's not going to be anything in there. But I thought, I'm in this town, and this town is just apartments essentially. So I'd be stupid not to have a quick look. Walked into the first room and found a frozen can of beans and thought all birthdays and Christmases had come at once.
If you check the military vehicles, they turned loot off of them years back in DayZ. But military vehicles like tank wrecks, jeeps, stuff like that, there's loot spawning around them. And you know, you guys know how much I love Adam and the dev team, but if they can do it in this fucking mod, why can't they turn loot back on in those in the official version of the game?
See, I think I have an answer.
Performance, maybe.
I think I have an answer to a degree, because if you notice that that Sumrak has included Inclement Dab as a contributor to the mod. It's well known that Inclement Dab has helped in some way with creating the Mausk for Adam and getting it working. And if we remember when we had Inclement Dab on the podcast last, talking just before the release of the DayZ editor that he created, he was showing us that with that editor tool, you can place custom spawn points for gear.
I was going to say, I think Helkiana's the one. I think Helkiana did the apartment loot spawns, you know. I'm pretty sure it was Helkiana.
I reckon Adam would have just used the internal tools for that. And
I know
the only reason why it's not in
apartment.
vanilla is because of the server performance it would have, the impact on server performance.
I'm not sure if you and Ben looked at the files that Sumrak has worked on, but they're completely different. The setup that he has, he makes use of the CE in a different way.
Oh yeah,
central loot economy. And actually the size of the map is like almost perfect for it to work in the way as he wants it. Like if he wanted to spawn an M4 exactly in this building, he flags that building to do that. It's a bit harder to do it on Churner's setup because it's more like universal how the way the tiers work because of the size of the map. And that's one of the issues was the apartments. I believe we did talk about this in a previous podcast, but the apartments are just cursed. That's it. They're cursed. They won't work on Chernarus.
See, but I'm seeing comments in Brim's chat here from Helkiana and Richie basically saying that if you turn loot on the apartments, then the apartments will soak up all the loot from the server and they will become insanely lucrative. I understand that, but why can't they create special tier of loot for them? Certain items can only be found. Like I remember back in the day, if you wanted to find a tent, the place to go was the apartments. It was, you know, and it was one of those things. I was going to say that too. Yeah.
They still spawn there in Novaya.
So why can't they do something like that? A certain tier.
It's difficult to answer because the previous versions, we never, like as a modern community, we didn't know what they were. Like 0.62 and 6.1, we didn't exactly know how they worked, and a lot of things changed. But I guess really there aren't any modders that attempted it publicly, like with a public mod on spawning loot in the apartments. I might try it. I never tried it. Maybe we'll give it a shot.
You know what's funny?
There must be a valid reason why the developer won't do it. So
every single time I lurk Boydie's stream, he's talking about those goddamn apartments and how they
just to appease him, you reckon?
Oh shit. Is there anything else we want to add to the topic about the security flaws with the service guys? Because Jacob, I know you do have to run. Do you still have to run, mate?
I can stay for a couple more minutes.
Can you stay for a couple more minutes? Awesome. Well,
there was one thing I wanted to bring up, sort of in regards to what Diddy said earlier about when you guys were setting up your servers and streaming, you setting them up and talking about malicious mods and being able to get passwords and stuff. On the sort of subject of security, the one thing I have noticed quite a lot recently, and I'm kind of stretching to kind of put these two subjects together in a way here, but I've noticed a lot recently. We've talked before on the podcast about stream sniping and how easy stream sniping people can be, but I've noticed a massive uptake recently in people literally putting it in the title of their description. Like in the description of their, like in the title of their stream. So, for example, someone will say, someone will start up their stream and their stream title will be, no, it won't even be that. It'll literally be people, but it's almost inviting stream snipers, like, our Namausk on the day one server today or something like that, for example. And they will literally put, basically, for all intents and purposes, I am streaming on this server today.
Look, day one's kind of unique. Day one's kind of unique though, because have you seen the queue for that fucking server? Good luck to any stream snipers actually getting on and finding that person. But the amount of normal plebs queued, and then the amount of content creators who've got priority queue to that server, you've got, unless you fucking get in right at the server restart, you'll be waiting an hour, 2 hours to fucking get into that. So
yeah, but they'll wait, Boydie. They'll wait and they'll get in there. But the thing about day one is
it's not an easy server.
Well, not only that, they can't get off the coast. And I put a ticket in because I was being stream sniped and sent a clip of the stream, and the guy got banned in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He was running around because right now what they're doing is they're playing music trying to get you DMCA'd. So they'll run up on you and with VoIP playing, I'm sexy and I know, and you're gonna get knocked. They think you're gonna get knocked off, but like those guys stop at nothing to
I think there's three main reasons why a content creator would put the server they're on the title. First one is they're actively trying to promote the server. Like me, for example, like Boydie, like we have our servers, we want to promote the hell out of them as much as we can.
That's what Marks has said in my chat as well.
Yeah, second reason would probably be a little bit more on the side of trying to develop your channel to a side of things. Let's use examples like the Red Zone. The Red Zone streamers would generally host other Red Zone streamers. So if you have TRZ in your title, you're more likely to get hosted from somebody in that community. Right. So it's used as a way to try to merge communities and try to grow from that perspective. The third reason is if you're doing a community event. You want to get as many of your people onto a server and go from there. They're the three main reasons that I think it's sort of legitimate in a way to put it in your title. But if you're doing it from a stream sniping perspective, or if you're trying to essentially put ownership of somebody stream sniping off of yourself as a content creator and onto the server, that's not the right way to go about it. It's not the server owner's responsibility to try to hone down essentially stream snipers. Content creators need to take the responsibility and understand that, yes, they'll try to track you down. Don't make it too easy for them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like historically, if you like, let's say you go back 12 months ago, even 6 months ago, you go onto the Twitch directory for DayZ, and all the titles, very, very few of them, like unless, like Diddy just said, doing a community event where you want to get everyone onto that one server, which what we did when Uncle Ray had his Boom Boom Room server. Everyone had Boom Boom Room in the title because we were trying to get as many people on to just completely go fucking bananas on that server, and it worked. So that absolutely makes sense. But if you look back 6 months, with the notable exception of those instances, very few people had the name of the server or any server related information in their stream title because they didn't want to get stream sniped. Whereas nowadays, at least in the last couple of weeks, it seems to have gone the other way, where even ignoring the existence of the day one servers, so many other people are doing that. They're doing it for like RP servers and things like that. And I'm noticing it a lot more. There seems to have been a shift from not wanting to be stream sniped, so not putting anything in the title, to kind of going, well, I'm risking being stream sniped, but I might as well put it there anyway.
I think stream sniping is less prevalent than it used to be. I mean, if you go back, like,
I would disagree. I would disagree.
Yeah,
I would say I would prefix that by stating negative forms of stream sniping are probably less prevalent, but you've also got these stream helpers that always pop up.
Yeah, I was more referring to people literally killing people.
Exactly. I thought you might have meant that side.
I call them stream stalkers.
If you run up, or the guy from chat that runs up and he's like, "Hey, it's me, it's Pussyface 420 from chat." It's like, dude, come on.
I saw it when they first came back.
Helkiana just said a good point there, and that's the fourth reason I think. Day one right now is where all the cool kids are at. You're not a cool kid unless you're playing on a day one server. So a lot of people are putting it on there because they want people to be seen. One, cool enough to make it onto the server, and two, because everyone's watching it. You know, there's I think at least half of the people on that server at any time have got to be streamers.
Why do you want to create content on a server saturated with content creators? Then everybody you run into is them, so they know your shtick already. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people they're probably putting day one in the title and not even playing on day one. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's bandwagon stuff.
Yeah.
Well, doing that, it's a good way to not get stream sniped by putting false information there.
Yeah, misdirection.
That's true. Very true.
Okay, so I want to get back to the thing we usually do at the beginning of it. Diddy.
Yes.
What have you been up to, mate? Playing a lot of Call of Duty. Sorry, not Call of Duty. Hunter Call of the Wild, mate, haven't you?
Yeah. No. I've reached a stage at the moment. I've been hitting DayZ hard for 3-4 years, And I just need to take a breather from it, really. You reach that threshold and you don't want to push yourself and burn yourself out. So you just step back, take a breather, and just enjoy playing someone else for a while. So for me personally, I still love the adventure side of things. I still love the gunplay. I still enjoy hunting and things like that. And for me, the Hunter Call the Wild is such a perfect blend of all that. Like while we're talking here, I'm actually working on a graphic for the Hunter Call the Wild. And it's just a game, for me, it feels a lot like DayZ, but with hunting the way that it should be in DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
A mechanic in DayZ is so bad.
And how'd your server going?
Like, why don't my animals bleed when I hit them in the chest?
Yeah.
They used to, dude.
I was watching
Yeah, they
Boydie
did.
earlier. Don't hit the head, Boydie. Hit the body.
Well, I tried to take out a goat a few weeks back on. I think it was 110 experiment, not experiment. The day they actually went live, and I hit a goat in Steroy with, I think I had a shovel, and it ran. I twatted it one. It ran about 30, 40 feet and then dropped and just went down like a sack of shit and was dead. And I hadn't noticed that happening for a long time. Like the idea that they get weaker over time. Maybe it was just server lag or something, but I hadn't noticed something like that happening for like where you injure an animal and then it runs off and dies. I haven't seen that happen in a very long time.
I'd have to test that too, because I've taken plenty of shots and had to track 2 kilometers away just to keep up with the animal. And then I shoot another one and it's a totally different animal.
That's why
And
I
now I'm
fish.
tracking for another 2.
The deer are the worst ones for that because they're
Yeah.
so quick and they disappear out of sight. And I've often thought that. I've often thought once they disappear out of sight, and then I catch up with them. Is it the same animal or not?
It should be the same.
Should
Usually
be,
they
but-
run 500 meters and stop, from what I've seen.
But
But
I
like
think
the whole shooting them and letting them bleed out isn't working right now.
I think, Diddy, that you because you've been playing a lot of this Hunter, you need to get onto them about maybe trying to implement some of the more advanced stuff into the game, especially as DayZ's taken a more PvE sort of turn of late, much to the dismay of some people. But yeah, it's good to see you branching
dude.
out and doing some more multi platform streaming as
Oh,
well,
for
mate.
sure. Like I swear, if the Hunter Call the Wild brought fishing in, you'd never see me again. I'd be a full-time bloody Call the Wild streamer. It'd be done because it's just the mechanics behind it are so good. The progression base is so good. And once you understand the complexities of the game, you can understand why people sink thousands of hours into it.
There's a lot of
Wow.
DayZ guys going over to that.
For those who don't know as well, Diddy is one of the that I know of is the first Australian streamer to get partnered playing DayZ that I know of. Am I right there, Diddy?
Yeah, well, that's back in the time when I first started up. It was me and Kenji. I don't know if anybody's aware of the good old Kenji man from back in the day. Me and him used to run around for a while, and he decided to go off and play PUBG and leave me alone.
Yep.
So,
Carrying the torch for your entire country.
Yeah, it was a bit of a different time back then, though, realistically, because that time slot was very, very few people streaming. Obviously, in America, it was early morning, sort of 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. In the UK, it was sort of early morning as well. So it wasn't a great time slot for those sorts of people. So you sort of had to build a bit of a platform for yourself. So it was just a matter of just consistency, regularity, and just essentially trying to get that consistency on a streaming basis going. You hit the fundamentals right, and you'd be guaranteed to grow. I feel like Twitch has changed a bit in relation to that in the last few years. It's less so consistency and regularity, and more so how many hours you sink into it, and who you connect with, which communities you try to integrate into, and things like that. It's less so the hard work that you're willing to put into it, and more so a bit of fortune here and there as well.
I think it kind of follows that work smarter, not harder kind of ethos in a way.
How are you finding it though, mate, with the new Bubba?
Well, working 40 hours a week, still streaming about 25, 30 hours a week on top of that with a little girl, 12 months old. So it gets tough. It gets tough, but you do what you love. So
12
You know,
months
I-
old, she's almost old enough to look after herself.
yeah. See, I'd rather her grow up knowing that I'm following what I'm passionate about, and her to do the same when she gets older. That's you want to set the tone and try to leave your kids in a way that they follow your footsteps in that way.
But I like when I'm lurking in your stream and that you're always open to her coming in and being part of the stream. Little kid just wants to see dad and all the rest of it, and you're not the sort of person
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Wife, you come and get this fucking kid out of here. No, you get her up on your lap and
I am who I am, Boydie. If people love me, they love me. If they hate me, they hate me. I'm not there to change people's minds on that. That my family is my family. If you don't like them, then there's 2 million other people you can watch.
oh, Gravity Wolf getting some fan appreciation in Broom's chat there. Dude, you sound so sexy. Misa likey.
I remember watching Diddy back in the day when every single time he would find a cereal box, he would get so excited thinking that orienteering compass was in
Fucking
there.
piece of shit that was.
Did you ever
I
get
don't
one?
think you ever found it.
I think it was about 250 cereal boxes. No fucking compass.
Yeah.
Never got
And
to
then
find one.
It's true though.
Never got one.
It was real.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
of course it
found
was
one
real.
time,
It
dude.
just wasn't real to me.
Yeah, I
Every
remember
time.
I found one and I was just thinking, Diddy's going to be so pissed. I don't think I did share it, but
Yeah.
it was just like, he was so fucking excited about every time he found one and never fucking got one.
Piece of shit, mate.
And
Piece
now
of
you can
shit.
find them
Should have shared
everywhere.
it.
Could have done a whole
Included.
YouTube video on that. Just him opening
Oh.
boxes of cereal.
Yeah. See, and they're the little Easter eggs in DayZ that we need back, in my opinion.
Yes.
We need little
Yes.
things like that entice the viewer, that entice the player to continue to go.
Bloody
It actually
Foxy
exists in the
Post put-
mouse. Sorry to spoil.
It exists.
I'm not going to spoil anymore. It does exist in the mouse. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. It's a food item and that's it. No spoilers.
Okay, see, I know a lot of people are doing the whole Gauze rifle and putting it where the old one used to be, but that's
like-
obviously modded in.
I
The
like
only
what
thing I
Foxy
find in
Pota's
food
done.
items is salmonella.
I like what Foxy Pota's done. He's rebranded the cereal on the Blackout servers. The brand is called Sumrax.
Yeah, all that.
That's pretty cool.
All that looks
Yeah.
good.
Is it the one
Yeah.
that drops a heat pack? There's a chance.
That's right. Yeah.
Get a heat buff from it or something. And yeah, like Helkiana's saying, there's so many Easter eggs in Namol. So Namolsk is great because it's just making you have to change your gameplay and change up all the different varieties of the way you always ran and what you skipped and all the rest of it. Now you're checking everything again. Has Namolsk enticed
don't
you to
build
come
an
back,
igloo.
Diddy?
Yes, but I want it to be on the alt. So we're just doing some fine tuning on the server at the moment, so it'll be up when it's
Yeah.
up. But I want my first experience to be on the alt, going from there, and so hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next day or two, she'll be up and running, good to go.
I still haven't forgiven you, Brim.
Me?
He ruined the EVR storm for me. I had no
Ah.
fucking clue that it happened.
Hang about,
And he
hang
shared a
about,
stream
sunshine.
in my chat, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I watch it, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, that is so cool. But I didn't get to experience it in game for the first time. I will get you back for that, you motherfucker. I will get you
That's
back.
don't
why
need
I'm
to.
not watching the Malsk streams.
You
at the
don't
moment.
need to get me back because I said in your chat a moment before, because I raided you after my stream, first time ever on the mouse. I raided you and I said, EVR storms are awesome. You were like, oh, I have no idea what this EVR shit is. And I said, well, give me a minute then. I'll find the clip from my Twitch. And at no point did you say, no, I don't want to see that. And when
Yeah.
I posted it, you took the decision to click the link and watch it.
Nah,
So
nah.
you've only got yourself to blame.
You dangled a carrot in front of me, motherfucker. How could I? And then I watched it, and it was like I just ruined the best fucking thing in the game. Oh my God. I didn't even know there
Well,
were EVR storms, I don't think. It was just, yeah.
You're so much more intimidating with the beard, dude.
and the tooth.
No, it's the tooth. It's the missing tooth. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
Quick
Increases the
personal story.
character.
Friday, I'm streaming the moles. I quit streaming it as much as I didn't want to. Go to the dentist to pick up my new plate. They put the plate in. I'm talking, yeah. Saliva dripping out of my fucking mouth. This thing just feels horrible. I'm like, fuck it, I'm taking it out. I grab it by the front tooth and I yank and I snap the fucking tooth.
I thought your
Fuck it.
wife hit you. I wasn't gonna ask.
Yeah. Sorry, kids. I just walked into a door.
That's how the other half came out.
But I just said, fuck it. I haven't hidden it. It doesn't bother me. I'm an ugly motherfucker. This makes me look a little bit more scary. So, yeah.
Now, mate, you look like a bikey. You look like one of those Comancheros, mate.
Oh, you know the Comancheros. Nice. A little bit of an Aussie, fucking scary motherfuckers they are. But yeah. How's the Aussie Survivalist going? For those that don't know, myself and Diddy, Archie was, but he left us unexpectedly because he's now focusing more on YouTube. He was our Clayton's Aussie.
Yeah, the honorary Australian.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for that opportunity, by the way.
Oh, good, mate. Australian Survivalist has been as same thing with you, Boydie. It's all about developing the Australian scene.
Yeah.
That's been my ultimate goal ever since I decided to start streaming on Twitch. It's all about being about community integration, trying to grow and develop the community around the Australian scene primarily. Essentially, with the Australian Survivalist stream team, the main concept behind it was to sort of not just envelope DayZ, but to reach out to the entire survival genre, because there's not really much of a survival group, for lack of a better word, when it comes to streamers. So that's where we got people like BattleMick, who does a lot of Dead by Daylight. Who else we got? We've got KJ, who does a lot of war tanks and a bit of DBD as well. And it's just about trying to reach out to people that aren't necessarily the biggest streamers in the world, but have built their own platform and who are looking just to join a group and continue to grow and develop. So for me, when I decided to leave the Karma Crew, a lot of that was due to the fact that I felt like I wasn't holding up my end of the deal when it was, being a member of the team. Because from a channel perspective, I'm not the streamer that I was 2 years ago. I'm not pulling the numbers that I used to. I'm not providing the same content that I used to from back then. So I just said to Minder, look, realistically, I'm not pulling my weight. I'm not doing what I used to be able to do. So I'm just going to step away. I'll focus on the Australian Survivalists. I'll try and continue to promote and grow people there. And that's what I've been focusing on. I would love to ultimately, a little bit like Yogscast. I don't know if anybody's aware of the Yogscast stream team. They do a lot of work where they essentially take their content creators all around the world. So I'd love to be able to create a platform for people that join the Australian Survivalists where we can get sponsorships and things like that, and then all of a sudden go to conventions all over the world.
That's a cool idea, mate. I like that. And I was honoured to be invited to the team as well, and I've really enjoyed it. It's just seems to be a lot more proactive than other teams I've heard of. Everyone's sharing information, and like Rhino and myself did a quick collab tonight. First collab I've done in so fucking long. I can't remember the last one I did. It's been that long since I did one.
Beautiful Barry's a great guy. I love him.
Reverend was the last one I did one with, and we played on Baby Nade's Island, and that's going back months. But it's really, really good to be, especially for us Aussies, to have our own little stream team. And, there's no big egos in it. Everyone's just passionate about Australian and Kiwi DayZ and survival games in general.
I have noticed a lot more sort of people from your neck of the world as well. A lot more
Mate, we've
Aussie and
always
Kiwi
punched
streamers
above our
popping
weight.
up.
We've always punched
I
above
know
our
a lot
weight.
more.
Like you look back when I first started up, realistically, it was me and Kenji. They were the two main people when I first started up.
Okay, hang about. We've got to stop for a second.
Yep.
Brim, do your fucking stretches.
I've been stretching for like the last fucking 2 minutes. Every fucking look at them.
No.
I want you.
I want
fucking cost for these things.
I want
chuck
you
some
standing
lycra on and
up,
do it properly.
and doing side to side stretches and touch your toes and all the rest of it. Come on, people are
And
paying their brimstone points here. You muted yourself, mate. We can't hear you.
I was shouting at his chat.
I'm fat. I haven't seen my fucking toes in years. You ain't gonna catch me stretching to reach the fuckers. I'll stretch, but I ain't gonna reach the fuckers. I'll tell you that much.
Come on, give it to them. Paying customers and all.
Uno momento. It's a shame my webcam doesn't zoom out further so I could do a proper decent fucking lunge.
You need to get 2 more webcams then, mate.
There we go. I think everyone got their money's worth from that one, mate. Good on you. You're a good sport.
There'll be a nude version on OnlyFans by the end of the week.
That's for January. That's a January photo.
So what else
Fucking
have you
right.
got? What else have you got planned, Diddy? I remember you were talking about an esports thing and all the rest of it. And
Yeah, as Gravity Wolf's probably aware, it's gone quiet on that front for a little bit now. Just waiting for a couple of pieces to fall into place.
yep,
Got a few people ready, but yeah, we're needing one or two more critical pieces left. I think
can you
from
talk about what you've got planned?
minimally
Keep
because
your cards close to your
there's no
chest.
there's no intellectual property rights on it or things like that, and we don't want people sort of yoiking it from under us. But
Yep.
Essentially, in layman's terms, it's essentially a competitive version of DayZ.
Mhm.
It's not a battle royale. It's something a bit different. I think from the modding perspective that we're crying out for essentially a way to create a professional scene. At the moment, it's passionate people doing passion projects. A development that we're trying to do with this is something that, if it's executed to the degree that I think it will be, it's a multi-million-dollar concept and idea if it's executed perfectly. It's something that could possibly take on a lot of the big heavy hitters in the genre, and it's something that I feel could have a real big impact in a lot of people's lives. So, the hard thing is we don't have a huge amount of people that can do in the DayZ scene. That can do all the elements of what we need done. There are people that are incredibly talented that can do a decent portion of it all, but there are certain elements there that are just very, what's the word? It's particular. It's very particular in certain aspects that we need. So we need like a professional web developer, for example. We need a professional database guy like Gravity, for example. We need a professional guy that can do proper HUDs and things like that as well. So there's a lot of moving pieces that need to be intersected perfectly for it to work the way that it needs to work. So I'm not surprised that it's taking a long time for this concept phase to come to fruition. But once we get those right pieces and we can start moving things into action, it's going to be big. So my hope is that we can get those pieces in place
Mhm.
so we can finally start building the foundation. I would think it would take 6 to 12 months to build properly. But if we can get it to drop well, it could be really, really big. And that's what I'm holding my hat on. And fingers crossed, we can find those last couple pieces.
Well, best of luck with it, mate. Best of luck with it. We need more things like that happening in the DayZ community. It just only adds some more legs to this old girl and keeps her relevant in the way that she seems to be shining quite well lately. And the Molsk has definitely been a big step in that, and that segues nicely into the next segment. How fucking good is the Molsk?
Really good.
Wouldn't know yet.
Love it.
Pretty good.
Catch up for fuck's sake, man. It's brilliant.
Do I need to mute for the next 15 minutes so you don't ruin it all for me?
I'll say I would get up and go and make yourself a drink or something. Come back in half hour.
You probably do for about 5 minutes, mate, because
No,
it's
you're
just,
right. I can eat. I'm a big boy.
It's just been 10 out of 10. I see Keegan saying in your chat there, Brim. But just the game itself is fucking amazing. But what I've got to give Adam credit for, and I'd love to know who helped him behind the scenes, was the rollout of Namolsk was marketing 101. He fucking nailed it with the stories that he released, the trailers that he released, and then doing a premiere of the video. He had 2,000 plus people watching him live on Twitch, 1,000 plus people watching the trailer live on YouTube. 3,000 people. He normally only gets between 50 to 150 people watching him when he streams, which always absolutely stuns me. People are watching all these other big streamers, and you've got the project lead of DayZ streaming, and you might have questions, and he's good. He answers questions in his stream. But finally, the guy got the recognition he deserves. Just absolute brilliance, and so many games, and DayZ itself can take a leaf out of his book, a page from his book on how to hype something up and deliver as well. Absolutely fucking phenomenal.
I
10
think
out of
with
10.
I think with Sumrak, still to this day, I still believe there's a lot of people that don't know what he does for Bohemia.
No,
And I think they see the name, they're familiar with it, and they come to support that. And he doesn't flaunt his position in
Nope.
any means whatsoever.
He's a grey
So
man.
he's a great individual. So I feel like a lot of the people that go and watch him, if they aren't people that already know what he does for Bohemia, they just back him because they know who he is, what he's done, and what he's about already.
Well, everyone knows the
I've
name
never heard a bad
Sumrak.
word said about the guy.
Agreed.
No one knows the name Namal Survivor. They know Sumrak. I think that's what fucked him over on Twitch.
For me, Sumrak is the final piece of the soul of the DayZ dev team.
Yeah.
Everybody else is left, and
Yeah.
he's the last one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last
samurai.
public one. The last public
Yeah,
one.
the last
that,
samurai, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just absolutely fucking amazing. And the mod that he's released, the map is beautiful. I've had people say it's a bit clunky and all the rest of it. But for me, I've just, not having played the mod, I just, like tonight on stream, usually on Saturday nights, I've actually been jumping on later. Tonight, I was chomping at the bit to get on. I got on at 8 p.m. my time, streamed for 3.5 hours or so, and just, I found Object 2, whatever it's called, scared the shit out of me. The noise is there, this big fucking humming throb, and scared the living crap out of me. Then I realized that I was on this South Island and there was fuck all animals around, so I had to run back north. He's just, you can really see the influences he's taken, Ben, from the Long Dark. Just the blizzards and everything like that. If you haven't played the Long Dark, you need to play that game.
Good
and
game.
you'll understand a lot of what he's done with the Moles, won't you, Ben?
Yeah, he's a big fan of that game.
He's always on that.
Yeah, I've seen him sink some hours into that. Like,
it's brilliant. A good solo player game to play.
I mean, what I've noticed with what Sumrak's achieved with Namal, so like over the last few months, even really this year, a lot of the changes that have come in, even like Broken Legs, right? I think before Broken Legs was implemented, a lot of PvP communities like me were expecting that everybody was just going to say, oh, fuck it, I'm breaking my legs every 2 minutes, remove it. I know on day one of it being out, somebody popped a mod up straight away, removing Broken Legs.
Yeah.
Ever since it's been in, I've not had one player on my server asked to remove it. What my point is that all the mechanics they've sort of brought in for survival, even up to now with DayZ, haven't really even affected like PvP servers like mine that you would think would be heavily affected by that. Now what he's done with the mouse, the changes in that, like I as soon as I went on it straight away, you're struggling, like food's frozen and things like that. I found myself doing things in DayZ that I haven't done in ages, like making fires and stuff like that. I haven't done that in DayZ for ages.
It just encourages interaction so much, doesn't it, Daone? Just people having to light fires everywhere. There's more chance of people bumping into each other, finding someone, and then I caught someone tonight on stream, a guy by the name of Panda, Ghostly Panda, playing on my server, and he had lit himself a fire, and it gave me the opportunity. I was creeping up on him, and I was like, I could shoot him and take everything. I didn't know who it was, but I thought, no, he's focused on this fire, so I crept up behind him and I tied him up to one. Something I normally never do. It was so fucking amazing. This map is creating such awesome opportunities. The PvPers won't like it, I don't think, the true version of the game, but
I mean, even just something like in DayZ, in normal DayZ, how often do you kill somebody purely for what they're wearing?
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you see somebody in the mouse and they've got a firefighter's jacket on, they're going down. That's my quote.
Well, those down jackets just oozing pure sex appeal
like,
in those fucking things.
Little things like that it changes the meta up so much, and that's what I'm saying. Like DayZ have done a lot, and it's great. I'm not bashing him, but it hasn't really changed things up that much. Whereas he's introduced things that are just going to give hours and hours and hours of new gameplay and new experiences just off a little thing like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's how it's meant to be played, in my opinion.
It hides that running simulator. It hides the running simulator aspect of the game.
Now it's Firestarter Simulator.
Yeah. Well, the
But
see,
gameplay loop is still the same.
Yeah,
but
see, I agree with
like
what
the
Foxy
small
said.
elements.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Foxy said earlier in my chat there as well, saying I've not broke my legs yet since it's been in. I'm under that same thing because I especially when the Mouse's release, I haven't had a chance to break my legs because I've been too busy doing, like you say, doing all those things that I wouldn't normally do, things like making a fire to keep warm, to defrost my food, things like that. So, whereas prior to the Mouse's release, I did say when 110 was getting released that I thought it might end up being a bit much having those three main changes in one patch. I think Namalska's done very well in breaking that up a little bit because you've now eliminated the broken legs essentially because you're not going anywhere to break a leg now. You're too busy, concentrating on the other things like making sure you've got enough food, making sure your clothes are warm and things like that. So like Helkiana said, broken legs intentionally only. That's the only time I've seen broken legs recently in DayZ.
Only
Is
time
because
I've
someone
broke
shot
mine.
you.
And I mean, back in the day, you remember you fall 2 centimeters and you've broken your legs, and
Yes.
now you're crawling.
Yeah.
Or you
run
were
down
dead.
the stairs too fast, and you're
I've-
broken legs.
I've taken some big falls in the latest patch and not broke my legs. And
I just got to quickly
as I was
say,
falling, I was sure I was going to break my legs, and it never happened.
I've just
The-
got to
the only
quickly
time
say,
that I've heard
Helkiana,
someone-
I was there for that stream, and it wasn't just Jacob. Everyone was begging Sunrack to break your legs. Everyone was begging him. We were offering him money to break your legs.
They're all
Yeah.
trained as Helkiana. Only I love you there.
Now,
I've only like heard.
I want to bring
Go on,
up
Jacob.
Daone and Gravity. You guys have got an announcement.
I got a few things.
Jacob had something to say.
They're pregnant.
Jacob, no, not yet.
Oh, it was just something small. I've only heard of legs being broken once in the mask, and that was War Dog like this morning. Like just someone just shot his legs. That was all.
Oh.
As he spawned in,
Nothing
someone shot
intentional.
him in the legs.
No, he was like just walking out of a building or chasing someone,
Yep.
something like that. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, that's like
I've
the only
not-
time I've heard it. Nothing.
You guys
like
aren't doing enough
seen-
parkour. That's the problem. You gotta do more parkour than you break the legs.
Yeah. Now, what's this big announcement that you guys have got?
So recently we bought and put up death matches and survivals for Namalsk in the AU. We've
Australia?
had we've had plenty of players over time state that they want it. A lot of people still aren't aware that it's out there yet, but we wanted to bring it to the AU because having something that's localized in the United States, it's next to impossible sometimes for you to find a server that's good paying, good player counts, stuff like that. So you have to at least try and make an effort to get players that are in that region on a server that's also in their region. So we're doing that, but also in the same time, we're finding the need to get another US server. So after the podcast, that's our first order of business is getting the server and putting a second United States server back up.
Nice.
And that's going to just include
Nice.
2 Namalsk deathmatch servers. We're going to limit down from 40 players to 30, hopefully to not make it so hectic. And I'm going to try to do some map edits on both Chernarus and Namalsk to give you guys a little bit more cover when you're running through fields.
Deathmatch, the right way to play DayZ, isn't that right? It's 100% intended where you spawn with gear. Don't worry about hunger or anything.
If I donate, do I get a
Shoot
gear
each
out
other.
when I spawn in?
Yeah, can I get an
Hey,
airdrop?
throw us a DM. Throw us a
those
DM. We'll see
deathmatch
what we can do.
servers,
No, I'm just kidding.
I promote your deathmatch servers a lot to people just starting because DayZ's PvP is quite clunky and weird in comparison to your shooters like COD and PUBG and games like that. So the deathmatch servers provide people with a no hassle approach to learning PvP in the game.
Yeah, but for some reason, still people have gear fear, even though there's no real reason to fear losing it because you'll be given back a random loadout. There's still plenty of people that sit 2 kilometers out, sitting in a bush, sniping you from that far away. Like I
Yeah.
see it all the time.
Pixels,
I get
bro.
reports every day on it.
I think that's the KD.
They want to get that epic clip to put onto bloody TikTok or Twitter or fucking
The
whatever.
montage, epic
I
kills
think
montage. Yeah.
People do go to get to the top of your leaderboards, you know.
Mm.
Yeah,
So that
true,
could
true.
be people doing that.
And the
may or
montages
may
that I've
not.
seen were like crazy to me. Some of them are like really well put together. I was noticing some people were actually killing people with they were zeroing out landmines that were in the vest
Oh
and
wow.
killing them that way. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was phenomenal to see the creative ways that people get killed, especially when you put it in such a fast pace game mode kind of loop.
I've had some of the greatest like the greatest gameplay moments ever on deathmatch servers. Just like having those tense sort of 1v1s in a building, third person peeking around door frames and things, and trying to have some sort of hostage negotiation situation and things like that. Like it really does offer something still so very interesting. Like you don't have to necessarily go and do the whole run and gun thing that most do. You can kind of change it up a little bit. It's amazing how something that seems like it's so two-dimensional and obvious can be so different.
Exactly.
I like all the shit people talk when they run in the building you're in. Yeah.
Or the teabagging.
The teabag, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good
black out the
fun
screen. You
experience.
gotta give 'em the
Even
camera.
for someone like myself who's more of a survivalist, it's still nice to jump on them every now and then and just get some practice up. And I do encourage all of the Australians out there to, it's a good thing to, you'll see people when they play PUBG, they'll jump into the training room of PUBG just to sharpen their skills up. It's a good thing as well if you're going to have a big marathon session, particularly on the more PvP focused servers. Jump onto the deathmatch one, get your Rye in, and then jump into the game. And when you got more on the line, you'll be feeling a little bit better. Plus, do you guys want to quickly talk about your leaderboards and stuff like that? Are you doing anything with them?
Mark, you can go ahead if you like.
Yeah, we have plans to like expand more on what the leaderboard have in terms of statistics, like a bit more in depth. We're not still 100% sure, but just expand more on the leaderboard. But for now, I'm actually focused on getting loadouts because players are never satisfied with the loadouts that we create, and RNG is always bad. So with like addition of a progression system, I'm making this COD pretty much. It is COD. We're making a COD, but in DayZ with horrible gameplay shooting. But yeah, as in like we had an incentive for players like to play and unlock the items as they progress with levels. That way they have like the choice of choosing their own gun, but obviously still keeping RNG. Like it's a bit of a difficulty thing to balance, but we have some ideas. I just don't have anything publicly to share. It's more of developing the background things, the complex shit first, and then we'll show off more stuff.
Yep.
Did you say pay and unlock or play and unlock?
Play?
Check it.
Pay to win loot boxes coming soon to a V++ deathmatch near you.
Well, and the first thing that all of this really started with, as far as the expansion of getting more data from the server, is we have a system that Mark and I use that allow people to report other players in game. And it's extremely helpful because we can get things like kill history and stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff, it's just a message to Discord. Yeah, we can use our Discord bot in order to ban you from right there, but we could hold more data so then when you come back to me and say, hey, why was I banned? I see your kill history for the matches that you played on my server. It's not just the last 3 or the last 7 for what you played when you were reported. So it'll allow us to better understand what's going on, if they're legitimate. Because typically when you run into a player, they're not consistently the best every round.
Yep.
So, right, and cheaters still exist in this game. And funny enough, they cheat on a freaking deathmatch server. They just join and like kill everybody in one shot. But hey, I guess it's fun for them.
Yeah, pieces of shit.
I just want to pay you $5 to never spawn in with the Tommy gun again, because I fucking hate that gun.
It exists there for a reason. Balance.
That's money well spent, that is.
So bad. Great servers though. Amazing.
Now we've just been joined by Keegan in chat.
The one and only.
Yeah, Mr. Battle Royale Mod. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you all?
Not too bad. Now, I invited Keegan in at the last minute because I saw he put a tweet out about some upcoming developments with the Battle Royale mod. Do you want to quickly run us by that, mate?
Yeah, so next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, we're going to be doing a public test. So there's going to be a mod on Workshop called Battle Royale Namalsk that everyone will be able to get. And that'll let you play essentially the official Battle Royale game all weekend long on Namalsk. All monetization has been turned off, so you get all the skins that we implement that whole weekend. You essentially get to try out the entire mod on Namalsk, which is going to be lots of fun.
Awesome.
Nice. And how is the numbers going with the Battle Royale mod of late, mate?
So I've been quite busy. I've moved to a new career, so I haven't been able to keep up with development like I used to. But even so, we've been making progress in a lot of different areas. And like I've said from when I started this, I expected to release publicly by the end of the year, and I still do. We're going to be doing a lot more testing the next week or so on Namalsk. I'm hoping that this upcoming weekend we're not going to run into any issues. And I don't expect we'll run into any. But we have all the major systems essentially laid out and in progress for the most part.
Interestingly,
We have
are you running just the map or are you doing the mod as well?
both. We're running both.
Oh, now that makes Battle Royale very spicy.
Yes, we're running both. It's going to be hardcore, first person.
Do you have EVRs enabled?
I'm sorry. Do I have what enabled, Jacob?
Oh, do you have the EVRs enabled?
I do, yes.
Nice.
That's going to
Better
make
than
it very
red zones.
interesting.
Way better than red zones.
Yes.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that actually the first time we tested that happened. It was fun. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty great. We're gonna replace a lot of the loot table with more Namalsk themed loot. So any food or drink you find, that'll be frozen, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
I like
He's
that.
got a
You haven't
Patreon,
choose
too.
from Cold or the Circle.
I just realized yesterday I'm still subscribed to your Patreon, Keegan.
Oh, thank you for the
If
support.
you guys want to go support the Battle Royale progress, he does have a Patreon.
Plus, he's now got the monetization as well, so you can purchase some of the limited edition skins. I've still got to talk to you about a podcast one, mate, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of new skins coming up, probably in the next month or two. I'm hoping to have a bunch of these skins that have been being worked on in the playtest, but if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, I'm not too concerned with just getting skins.
Now, we just got to do a quick shout out. I just saw that Sumrak himself joined Brim's chat. You missed us talking about the moles before, mate, but pretty much everyone here is blown away by how amazing the experience has been.
Great. He'll have to watch the VOD on YouTube.
Oh, he'll probably will, or listen to the podcast when he's at work. But while he's sipping his podcast mug that all of you supporters out there help fund, he put a photo of it up on Twitter. Custom artwork done by Asmondian. I wanted to give him a big thank you. I reached out to him, and because he's just the absolute legend that he is, he did all the custom artwork for every person on the dev team who got a mug. Plus, there's one on its way to Batty now, and Dean Hall and Brian Hicks have all received a custom DayZ podcast mug as well. And that's thanks to all of you supporting, whether it be watching the VODs or purchasing the merch or doing the Patreon support. Scale Speaker and Jake Snow, fucking legends. But yeah, it's been this mod has just changed DayZ for me. I am just having an absolute blast on that map, Adam. I've got fucking frostbite. I've lost 25% of my health, but I'm loving it. I'm like a giddy little school kid. Friday morning, I was up because it was 4 a.m. or it would have been 5 a.m. for you, Diddy, it released. I was up at 2:30, if not 1:30, I think. I started streaming at 2, because I saw that my server was live and it said the map was Namolsk, and I was thinking, yes, it's been released early, and no, it was just a big troll. But that enabled me then to actually join and be part of one of those memorable moments that people will remember for years to come, the release of Namolsk, and over 3,000 people watching you on both YouTube and Twitch for the release of this amazing map. I know not everyone's
It was
happy with it,
insane.
but fuck those people. This map is brilliant. It is just
I mean, to be fair, there's not
Yeah.
much to be upset about. It's a
I know, right?
nostalgic with a new twist, and it's
Yes.
what we needed. And I don't care if there's one little thing. If there's one little thing, then what am I complaining about?
Yeah, but there's no bloodsucker, and it's the only thing. Where's the mod?
Look, I'm gonna be completely honest. I never played Namolsk until yesterday,
Same here.
and I played longer than I have in a long time in DayZ. It was a great map.
It's just such an
It was
amazing
a lot of fun.
experience. Having
And
to
it's
light
free.
fires, people coming up to you because you've got a fire lit, and they're like, yeah, the amount of times I've said, dude, or had people ask me, dude, do you have any food? Do you have any food? And yeah, it's such a wholesome sort of feeling. And, you know, there's trust issues still because you just don't know if, you know, the person running up to you when you've got a fire lit is just going to blast you and take everything you have. Like Archie said, you know, killing people for fireman's coats and things like that. But it's just, it's brought a whole new level to DayZ, and you know, for those that want the old experience of just PvP and base raiding, they can just use the map. But the mod itself, the other thing I'm excited about is apparently people are dissecting his mod and working out how to incorporate blizzards and things like that into Winter Chernarus as well, which is just going to be awesome. Imagine a blizzard on Chernarus, the size of that map. It's just going to be amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. So thank you so much, Adam. It was a long wait. And on a personal note, I'm also glad because now I can tell people to fuck off when they comment on that trailer video I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago and it's still not released.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about having to wait for it, but especially when Sumrak does something, I'd rather it take the time.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it gets that attention, that level of detail, and not to mention when it comes out, it makes it that much sweeter when you finally get your hands on it.
And a big shout out as well, Adam. I don't know whether you want to divulge. I did see a comment in your chat there, Brim. A big shout out to Helkiana. I know she was quite busy when the stream was happening and the Discord was going crazy and all the rest of it. But a big shout out to all the people who helped you with all the promotional stuff. We talk about just how brilliant the release was, mate. You created so much hype, which DayZ needs. DayZ really needs more eyes on this beautiful game. Next topic on the agenda. Well, we've talked about winter maps, and we've got Adam in chat there. But they're all the rage right now. Will DayZ ever give us an official one, or maybe seasons in the game? Oh no, that's from last week's episode. Oh God, I'm an idiot.
I was going to say, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
I think it's the flying bear that we're talking about for the next one.
No,
if I'm
no.
not mistaken.
The suggestion by Mass. Thought it would be cool maybe if it was discussed
Yes.
amongst the community. If a new island added off the coast would be a good idea or not. He's obviously talking about Chernarus here. It was originally in an older build of the game. Now, some people will be telling me it used to be called Utes, but it never made it to stable, likely due to performance problems, but would be really cool. Now, I put a comment in chat when people were talking about it. I remember meeting Brian Hicks at PAX 2015, and he told me there was an island off the coast that was built with buildings and everything that just needed to be raised up and it was ready to go. But that island's never appeared. Does anyone know anything about it? Or
You say it's never appeared. Technically, it has. It has been released, quote unquote, on the standalone launcher as a separate modded map, but it's a very small island. You know, you can probably run around it in about an hour. You know, but it is a really cool, it's a really cool looking kind of little map. To be fair, it's, I'd say it's tiny, but
I remember it.
on its own at the moment. Like I say, if you go onto the standalone launcher, you can find, if you go in the drop down menu for the maps, there is one called Utes, and it's it's pretty cool. It's, you know, like I say, it's quite a small little map, and as an add-on to Chernarus, you know, I think it would be quite cool. Put it on. I would personally like to see if there were going to be any big map changes like that, to put it out west, put it where like Zvir and places like that, right on that far western side of the map. Put it out that way and give that way a little bit more traffic leading up towards Tissy, up that end of the map. Because at the moment, that part of the map just isn't that, you know, impressive. It's very rural. So it'd be nice to see something change there. But
I've put a timestamp link in Team Podcast Agenda. It's from Adam himself a couple of years back. Basically talks about the islands.
It was down by Electro, right? Utes. There's the one with the church and all the dead trees on it. Because everybody was calling it Utez back then.
For a while now, I've wanted more islands on the coast, especially now we've got helis and boats involved. Like, all that sea is prime real estate. I think it'd be great to have, you know, more reason to find a heli or a boat and travel out to somewhere. I see what they've done with like the Prison Island area, even.
I like
1.10. That looks brilliant.
That was smart, because now they can't sit up at the lighthouse and snipe people swimming over.
That's half the fun of it, though, wasn't it? We'll catch people coming across the bridge.
I hate diaper snipers, man.
A lot of servers had bridges into Prison Island before.
Yeah.
Like, I know I did, and I've took mine out and I've left it as it is now, because it's brilliant hopping between those little islands to get over.
But no, it's definitely interesting, and something that I imagine, I know we'll never get an answer from Adam either way. He's probably the best poker player in the world I've ever seen. He keeps everything close to his chest and doesn't want to commit to anything, and I still hold it against him. I know I bring this up all the time, but I'm still dirty at him with the fire station. I asked him in the Spotlight interview I did with him whether we'd ever be able to get access to the other parts of the fire station, and he said no. And then fucking within a year, what do we have? Access to other parts of the fire station.
Hey, you gave him the idea, Boydie.
Well, I gave him the idea to open up some of them doors in the apartment buildings and things back when we had him on the podcast back in the summer. So there you go. Get that on next, Adam.
Bring him back. We want the full.
Get some bloody doors open.
Again. Now I found this on Reddit. The flying bear. Now we've seen this a few times. Where
it was a polar bear as well.
Yeah, creatures go flying and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to bring it up. But bears, they fly now.
I did click the link and have a little look before the podcast started, and I did have to giggle. That bear fucking flew.
Oh, yeah. On a stream last night in the mosque. Was up on top of the bridge trying to hide from the bear, and it just like jumped up on him.
We learned to adapt.
Yeah. Get a better Boydie, where's your merch at? Where can I buy your merch?
Sorry, I was just watching the video for the stream, but yeah. We'll come back to that at the end, mate. We'll come back to that. I've got to get you a mug in any case, being part of the crew behind the team. But yeah, there was a good explanation provided by someone about since all of the mobs have one tracking point, when they attempt to occupy the same point, some entities are bounced away. So if you have many mobs, they can then bounce each other, ending up in this effect. Trust me, collision detection is one of the biggest nightmares I've ever tried my hands at programming. Most of the time is about pushing other things away if they try to clip through. The exact reasons DayZ has issues with this is actually why the developers of World of Warcraft chose to not do player mob collision detection and only environmental. This, I think, is related to cars going everywhere since they have multiple tracking points. And if those end up in one of these collision exaggeration events, they fly. So it was just, I found it quite interesting because it's one of the biggest things you see people complaining about with DayZ is, you know, cars going flying and all the rest of it. And it was nice to actually see an explanation from someone. Part of the reason why I wanted to bring it up tonight is we've got 4 very technically minded people in here. Is he right?
No.
Ha!
Try again, mate.
Well, first of all,
And if you look at the replies, I've replied to that actual comment days ago. Yeah, this person doesn't know what they're talking about, so just don't
Can
bother.
you
really.
explain it to us? Why does it happen?
Oh well, like he's correct on like some parts, but it's just a bunch of conflicting collisions, yes, but it's not a singular tracking point. It's nothing like that. It's more complex geometries, and when entities are close together, it's just got to move somewhere. So the issue is just the nav mesh isn't properly updating with the amount of AI in the area.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very technical.
but yeah, very technical.
That's why the devs can't even figure it out. But it is a weekend job, right? Jacob, you gonna fix it? Gonna make
No.
like
I can't
oh.
fix it. I
What?
don't know how to fix it.
I thought you were making
I
a
barely
free
know what
mod
the
for
actual
fixing
issue
it.
is.
Oh my god.
I think we should rub their noses together and make them fight. That would be cool.
The next point on the agenda, insulation chart from Asmond. Bloody Asmondian. These guides he does are absolutely fantastic, folks. I've just brought it up. I'll go to desktop for my stream. But just tiering everything, the best one. But the thing I like is they've actually made it very easy in the game. You've just got to hover over each item and you can compare it to what you're wearing. And know, the battle in the game seems to be to get yourself kitted out in everything that's best or at least high insulation as soon as possible. But even on the Molsk, that doesn't really help you that much. You can still end up freezing, but it does make it a bit easier for you. But it's, I love those charts from Asmund.
What? The reflective vest is not that great at insulation?
Yeah, would you believe?
I was thinking, just imagine if Asmondian and Wobo got together and done a YouTube video. Imagine how detailed and technical that would be.
I think our heads would explode. I don't think any of us would actually have the mental capacity to actually ingest and what information is coming at us. Our heads would explode with those two together.
I think Asmodean would be great to work with Wobo on that website that Wobo was doing.
The problem with those kind of guides is that every update they change the values on stuff, so they are immediately obsolete in a lot of cases. So like when you spend, and I know looking at the quality of his videos, he probably spends up to a week editing, and then you put out that video, you get 30,000 views, and then the patch comes out 2 weeks later that makes it obsolete, and that sucks. So
You wouldn't really
the
expect them to
website's-
change it too much.
the website's
Some of
real
these stuff.
time though.
Well, and then some people, they'll take that information and they'll run with it, and then they'll go to a modded server that's disabled this and disabled that or altered this, and then they're like, why is none of this true?
That happens a lot.
But you can't account for a server owner wanting to take broken legs away or give you unlimited stamina or how long it takes to put a bandage on. Like, it's just, there's vast amount of information and they change from server to server and community to community.
People get butthurt over anything.
Amen.
Yeah. What's the next topic on the agenda? 1.10 hotfix.
Hotfix.
Yeah. So
you had this one too.
Yep.
And there is one specific part of this hotfix that I am very fucking glad of, and that is the part about the cooking pot attachments.
Yes.
Going missing.
Yes.
Because like my main thing I do is immediately I want a cooking pot. If I can get a cooking pot or a frying pan, gas stove the lot, happy days. I don't have to worry about trying to cut down trees, fuck about, turn it on, cook me food. I'm good. I love it. Especially with the amount of water you can hold in a pot as well and just drink as much as you like. Absolutely brilliant. And then suddenly shit just starts disappearing after server restarts and things. I legitimately nearly cried.
But no, some really good changes in there. Things like the fire barrel couldn't be attached to the barrel slots of the M3S truck. It was good to see one coming out so quickly after the release of 1.10 as well. So that was a big positive. And sort of touches on what we were talking about last week, Brim, about the need to sit back and I think just polish DayZ a bit, get everything working the way it's meant to be intended, and hopefully we'll see some good stuff there. So when Diddy comes back, to the game, it's in a really, really good state and you don't get frustrated with it, mate.
Oh no, it's not the frustration factor, mate. It's just the fact that I've just hit the game so hard for so long. Just need a breather. But as
Everyone
the
does.
Mollusk, I'm super keen for. I just need the old up and running, mate. That's
I
all.
will tell you one thing, mate. Unless Adam's got a fix coming through for it soon, don't use a cooking pot on the Mollusk.
Yeah.
I sat there watching a pot of meat and nothing was fucking cooking, and I dried some meat before. I'm like, what the fuck is going? And then someone told me in chat, no, the cooking pots don't work on the Mollusk at the moment. It's like, it wouldn't be DayZ without a few extra features in there to keep things spicy, would it, Jacob?
Oh yeah. I was wondering that myself as well. I had a cooking pot, wasn't working. I just put it right straight into the campfire and I cooked my stuff.
Yep. What have we got next? Now, this I originally had it as a topic because I thought it was absolutely fascinating that they were doing it. But then I found out more about it, which actually adds why I wanted to talk about this topic. So, for those who don't know, LKP1, he's done some really, really good. Oh, sorry, Adam's just said in chat the cooking pot you fish out of the lakes does work though. Apparently, so yeah, I just haven't been lucky enough to find one yet. Only ones that I found in the game, but yeah. So LKP1 is one of those unsung heroes of DayZ as well. He lurks in the background. He's very closely tied in with Spaggy and the DVS, I think they're called. And he does a lot of music that is specific to DayZ. One of my favorite that he did was a song for Barely Infected. But it's not just Barely Infected he's done. He's got a SoundCloud. He's done songs for so many different creators and just so many different things about DayZ. Now, he actually released a post on Twitter. And I would like to read it out here. I'll put it up on the screen as well. Actually, I'll just share so you guys can see it as well. Screen, applications, go live. So you all know me as LKP1, a random guy on the internet who loves to make music and play DayZ. Not so long ago, I had an operation which left me in constant pain to the point even a short walk around the house would leave me rattled with agonizing pain. Most of my days over the last few years consist of laying in my bed 22 hours a day while still trying to be the best father and husband I could be. Last year, I went for an operation that could give me a slim chance in returning to some normality and possibly leading a better life. Unfortunately, it didn't have the outcome we all desired, and I was now in more pain than I had been in before. Extreme doses of morphine are all that could take the edge off the pain. I kept hoping that things would slowly improve. Fast forward to a few weeks after the operation, and the pain gets worse. Only this time it wasn't the pain in my body, but the pain in my heart as my wife and I separated. I left the family home, leaving my 3 kids with their mother to go and live at my mum's place. This situation is not ideal. My mother is old and dementia is gaining on her. She's in need of more care, and I can't provide that. While I need care myself, it has also meant that due to the coronavirus, the distance and the fact I can't travel, that I've hardly seen my kids in the last year. My wife is a wonderful, wonderful woman in so many ways and is the love of my life. Sadly, she too has a demon she is fighting. I hope you understand that I don't feel comfortable talking about her situation, as right now it is not what this is about. But I will say that I suffered a lot from abusive behaviour due to her mental health. I had hoped that the separation would not be permanent, but she had different thoughts on this matter and has recently filed for divorce. I always thought that love would overcome all. I still believe that, but it is the love for my children that will get me through this. They are the sole reason I fight the pain every single day and do all that is in my power to be the best father I can be. Okay, I can't do half the things that other kids' fathers can do, but I can guide them and teach them to never give up and to always fight. Even when you are at your bleakest moments, you somehow, somewhere, some way find a way to keep going on in life. There is so much I could write into this message, but I want to tell you about a recent change in my luck because that is why I'm writing to you. Recently, my local government has finally assisted in giving me the correct status in my claim for reaccommodation. I now, finally after a long battle, have a new home to move into. It is close to my kids and their school and simply is everything I need. My sister is now taking over the care for my mother, so she's in good hands. This right here, what you're reading now, is my somehow, somewhere, some way moment, a cry for help. In order for me to register for the correct benefits I need, I must be in my new home. Once registered, the process will not happen overnight, and I have no way of supporting myself. I cannot work, and what benefits I currently receive will not cover my monthly fixed expenses, let alone all the extra expenses I'm now confronted with. I've always been self-reliant and self-sufficient, but now my back is against the wall. It's easy to offer help to others, but it's hard for me to ask for help. But now I have to put my pride aside because I need all the help I can get. I need help, and I'm asking for your support by buying one of my cinematic ambient music albums because I've worked hard on them, and that way my pride still stands. But if you've enjoyed my music for the DayZ community and/or are willing to help a struggling survivor and father out, all donations are welcome, as my meager savings will be gone before Christmas. You will find a link to either in this message, and I will be forever grateful. So there's a link there for just to donate straight to him. All money raised is going to LKP1, which is a good thing by Spaggy to do that. But he's got 4 albums of cinematic DayZ related music that you can purchase. Donate at least €15 and add the code of the one you want, CA2, and the email address in the PayPal for a gifted copy to someone if you want to gift it to someone, to your favorite creators. You know, I know there's a lot of them out there, especially now with all the Twitch stuff, worried about music they can play to add to the ambience of their stream. So I will put a link to this in my chat and also in your chat, Brim, so people can post it up, share it. But yeah, it's a sad story, and you know he's always been lurking around in the background there, doing these things for DayZ. Yeah, if you're looking for some music and you've got a few quid to spare, folks, it'll be going to a good cause. So if you can, please do. Has anyone checked out any of his music before?
No, I haven't, but I was going to say I could buy one. You could use it for the intro and outro to the podcast or something. Since I'm not streaming.
I've got the music with this one already, but I'm thinking I'm going to do it for just music. Who was that jumping in then?
Gravity. I actually wanted to offer the podcast something. So I feel that, you know, when we have community related projects such as the podcast, that is best for the community to help support them. And Ben, you have a great community. And what I'm asking is that anyone that has a community that's established, add the DayZ podcast to your start menu. Just a little image, give it a shout out. We can really make a difference. We get the players. We're going to put it on the deathmatch start menu and the survival menu. So then when people get into the start menu and they see brought to you by the DayZ podcast, it gets that question, what's the DayZ podcast?
Mate, there are still so many people who don't know. Like I posted up in the DayZ community owners or DayZ community server community owners Discord that were talking about those topics we talked at the beginning. And people were saying, what, that's a DayZ podcast? They just, we're 38 episodes in and a lot of people still don't know about it. So the fact that you guys are doing that means a fucking lot to Brim and Ben and Archie and Daone and Jacob and Foxy and all the rest of the team. That's a really fucking nice thing to do, guys. And I
feel that we always say that we love the community, and then we love the game. But if you love the community, we got to support the community. And it's not just one or two of us, it's all of us. We're all in this together. We all have the same wants, needs, and loves. So I feel like it's best for those who have the way of exposing and the way of sharing different parts of the community with their community. It will really help things like the DayZ podcast, other modders, and stuff like that grow. And you as a team can only do so much. You can only spread this information so much, and it can only reach so far. So
my biggest issue, Boydie, was when I shouted out on the stream or on YouTube in the community section, I don't have one central location to send people to watch it. So now that you got YouTube going live, I can link that.
Yep.
But the biggest thing with me was when I would shout it out, people would say, "Where do I watch it?" And I would say, Boydie's Twitch channel or whatever. If we had one link we could direct people to, like YouTube Live or something, it would help it grow a lot.
Well, I've got to do some work on the website. I want to change it because at the moment I've still got my Twitch channel, but I want to have a few buttons up there. Work out a way to maybe live now comes up, and when people go to the website, they can just click on me, Brim, Wiidevil, whoever else is on, and just go straight to the Twitch channels and that. And but that's stuff that I'll probably speak to someone about how best to implement that to better promote it. But it's been constantly evolving, the podcast. You know, we're constantly changing it. Like, I've only got a handful of people watching me on YouTube, but I'm committed to sticking with the YouTube to increase the exposure across platforms. You know, Twitch is, we've talked about it many a time, Twitch is very limited in its ability to spread the word, whereas YouTube has better growth dynamics, and Facebook as well. My computer was playing ball with my internet connection, more to precisely was playing ball. I'd be streaming on Facebook as well. But yeah, the more we can do to spread the word about this show, the better. I do like to think that we're bringing more good to the DayZ community.
For sure.
Well, after you.
I was just saying, Nitro boosts the Discord server too, because that's going to make the sound and video quality for the podcast better. The DayZ podcast,
Yeah.
Discord. If you can Nitro boost, it's like $3 a month, and I haven't done it myself, but I'll do it right after this because that's going to help with audio quality, video quality, tremendously.
And get that custom. What do they call it? Vanity
URL.
URL. Yeah.
Vanity URL. And yeah.
Perfect. But I did see that DayZ's verified account just posted a heart in Brim's chat.
Yes.
So if there is Bohemians listening, I also asked the same. I understand community managers have plenty to do and they're always prowling Twitter, but showing community-made projects would be a great thing to see again.
I kind of understand though why they don't with us, because any
because you're a shit stirrer, Boydie, that's why.
Yes. To be perfectly honest, yes, I put my foot in my mouth more often than not. And any sort of official endorsement of us is a risky thing. So I kind of understand why they're hesitant to shout it out and all the rest of it. That said, I do communicate with them regularly and they talk with us. And I even got a statement for one of the things I'm bringing up later as well, which I'll be referring to. But yeah, thank you so much for that, Gravity Wolf. That's a very nice thing to do, mate. And
yeah, good
if anyone else wants to do it, hit me up. I'll send you through the artwork and any way to promote this and, you know, spread more. And
I heard OnlyFans is a good way to promote, Boydie.
Yeah,
on that.
I've been talking to Ben about that. You know, it'd be a good way for him to get more dick pics that he loves.
It's true that.
I did actually look recently going along that OnlyFans route. I haven't looked into it yet. I did look at the idea of possibly opening a podcast OnlyFans where it would be like it would be like those sorts of pictures, but with like the podcast logo covering anything that's, you know, that you wouldn't really want posted, or the idea of possibly doing like a considering we're about to, you know, we're only a few weeks away from coming into the new year, doing like a 2021 podcast calendar with those same you know, do two versions, a clean version and one with those sort of OnlyFans type pictures with the, you know, the logo covering as well. So it's something I'm looking into.
You know what I mean?
It'd only be a small logo covering for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but you know.
We should just have Daone and Jacob meet up and fight, and we can sponsor it as the podcast.
The DayZ podcast brings you DayZ bum fights.
Yeah, there you go.
Miss Boo saying they're trolling fans. I like that. I like that. Okay, so yeah, if you can, please go check out www.spaggy.com/music. And if you could support LKP1, just go and check out his SoundCloud as well. He's got some really, really cool music. If you give me 1 second, I will just quickly, because I do follow him on SoundCloud, get his channel for everyone. There we go, LKP1. This is his SoundCloud link where he's got a lot of stuff. It's got a Livonia one, Run Die Retry, Molly's Melody, Do the Wiggle, Are You Ready? And it's all Eurodance sort of music. So if you like that sort of stuff, but yeah, I'll just post his SoundCloud as well in your chat as well, Brim.
Thank you.
There we go. Check out LKP1. You won't regret it. But like I said, my personal favorite, and actually I'm going to do quickly one other one. If you have not heard this, I should be able to go back and see it on the homepage. Barely Infected. there is a song by Barely Infected that fans of the Running Man will recognize straight away. The summer song. The Running Man had it. Barely Infected played it live in game with the Running Man, and it is a beautiful guitar melody. Absolutely beautiful. I know people are working on that guitar mod. I actually suggested, I gave them a link to this, and told them they should ask Barely Infected whether they could add it as an actual song in the game. It's just a beautiful song. The scene from the Running Man video is him and Barely Infected sitting around a campfire, and I could just imagine someone playing the summer song, sitting around a campfire with the animations going. It'd just be such an amazing experience. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the background with DayZ.
Not to mention Ben Fruit recently releasing his
Oh.
debut track as well.
Forever.
Not my genre. I'm a heavy metal fan, so it's not my genre. But I'll tell you what, I listened to it on repeat for about a good 15 minutes.
And he's a member of the Aussie Survivalists as well, folks. You have to get him to make a theme
good to see Benny
song for the
branch
Aussie
out doing a
Survivalists.
few different bits and pieces. Good to see.
He wrote and engineered the entire song
talent.
himself, folks. He's a very talented young boy. Same age as my son, man. Blows me away. I remember. Yeah, I was
18
actually
again, right?
I was actually thinking about Ben Fruit. Did he? I remember when he first started streaming, and he couldn't even have a PayPal account because he was too young for PayPal to get donations. He just had to rely on Twitch subs. Poor young guy couldn't even get donations.
I was aware of him when he had under 50 followers, and he would occasionally flick on his webcam, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, there he is." And he sort of cut that out. Obviously, he had his own reasons and whatnot, but just to see him grow and develop and become the person that he is, literally through his streams, is quite a unique experience.
Well, I think I could quickly jump to it. I think I've got a tweet from him that I added as an additional. He tweeted out, "I am now 19 years old, so happy birthday, Benfrey. I've gone 1 full year of being an adult and only received a parking ticket. I paid my bills and followed the law. I didn't get prison time for tax evasion or anything like that. I think I've done well." I did reply to him with a GIF of those are rookie numbers. You need to pump those numbers
sounds like
up.
he needs to live a little bit. Fuck you now.
Well, you should have said there's no missing teeth yet.
But no, I'm very, very proud of young Benford. He's a nice young lad and doing very, very well. So here's to seeing him go onwards and upwards.
Gotta say, just like if you go back 7 years ago, 6 years ago, Boydie, right, when we used to play DayZ together, you think it was a struggle to fill an Australian server with people. Now look at this. How much is but how much now?
Still can be though.
The Australian community in general involvement of DayZ has just exploded. Look at all the big streamers now and the content creators and the busy servers. Like Oz has just blown up in the world of DayZ now.
I hope it sustains.
Lax is one
thing I'd like to see
now on Twitch.
I would like to see those big names playing on Australian servers.
We had that conversation in our Discord and or in our little Twitter group, and I would like to see that as well. I would really like to see that, but that's a conversation for another day.
They have their reasons, and they're completely acceptable reasons too.
But I'd just like to see it, maybe, and not just this doesn't just apply to Australians, but people supporting their local areas. Whether it be just once a fortnight or so, do a special day to connect with the people from your area. But that's just me, DD in Colorado.
I mean, I definitely agree with that.
They outlawed DayZ in Australia? Yes, they did. It was banned there for a little while. It wasn't officially fully banned, but it was basically
bloody marijuana.
Yeah, it was all a big.
Nothing.
It was all a big mix-up. From what I understand, Bohemia engaged. I think they were called 5 Star or something, a company to do the marketing, and they kind of screwed the pooch. And when they submitted the classification review, they somehow put in there about marijuana or something like that. If you check out Don Sibley Games on YouTube, Daone SIBLEY Games, he did some great videos where he actually got Freedom of Information paperwork that explains the full situation of what happened. It was a bit of a A bit of a fuck up.
Love Don to pieces. Such a
Oh,
good
Don's
man.
the legend. He for me is the most underrated DayZ
I second
streamer
that.
out there.
Yeah.
I third that.
Yeah,
How
I
good
definitely
was-
think he deserves way more growth and discoverability than he has. That guy
Oh,
goes all
he's
out.
so unique.
He's
How
my
good
favorite.
was his the Moles review?
Oh, it's too
It's great.
good. That
great.
green screen room that he painted, like, he's taking full advantage of it. And if this is the content he's bringing, just wait for a year. It's gonna triple, even quadruple the quality.
I was in
Does
a stream the
anyone-
other
I hope so.
day, and
Does
he did
anyone
this
have a
thing where
link to that? Anyone have a link to his
I'm just grabbing it now.
there you go.
if you can share it.
He did this thing the other day in his stream where he was like, "I don't need this anymore," and he like stands up and he's walks into the game capture and puts a PlayStation 4 box down, and it looked like it was actually sitting on the bunk bed in game. He did it so, and I do a lot of green screen work, and that shit is hard. Like he got it perfectly where it was supposed to be.
He's a talented man.
Very, very talented man. There we go. The one just shared it in your chat.
Yeah, there you go. And I've shared the Twitter link as well to his
So definitely
his
worth a
recent
watch,
thing
folks.
that he did.
I think his previous work in like TV and involvement in comedy is elevating his streams
Yes.
that extra level.
He's going to blow up. He's
Yeah.
going to blow up. People will become aware of him, and just the next level that he's taking streaming to. You know, so many people just don't even use the webcam or anything like that. They've got it. DayZ, short story. Weed was giving a positive buff reaction, so Australia rejected it. Quick fix, change positive to negative effect. There you go.
Oh,
That's
there you
right.
go.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
The fact that it was giving a positive buff. Such a fucking nanny
Thank you,
state.
Bohemia.
It wasn't even spawning though.
I know,
No.
yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, gotta love Australia, right?
Been modded in.
But
the
it was
first
in the
place.
files.
Yeah.
Well, look at like talking about Australians. You look at Lax. I mean, he's currently streaming to over 800 people. Like 6 months ago, that was half of that. So you like
Mate,
not
I've seen
to
him
not
up to.
you
I've
know.
seen him up to 2,000.
Yeah,
watching him.
he's been doing mad numbers recently.
He's
you know, and
been
it's fully
doing very
deserved.
well with his cross collaborations with Smoke on day one. It's been a very good combination
Yeah.
for him, and it's great
And-
to see. It really is.
And that's the thing. And like with Smoke, like I appreciate everyone that he's helping because he is in the eyes of the public to a large degree. Like, and so is the likes of Shroud. Like he didn't have to come back to DayZ,
Exactly.
but he chose to. And you know, I think we're all grateful for anyone that's going to give our game the time of day and come back to it, because for a very long time, a lot of the people that were here already felt like they were left down.
I'm going to say
It's
something
very.
that's
it's-
going to probably
yeah, you
upset a
go.
lot of people. But how many thirsty boys are playing on the day one just in the hopes of running into Shroud?
All of them.
All
Yep.
of them.
Yep.
Oh, mate. And
Are
I
you talking
don't
content creators or non-content creators?
a little from column A, a little
All
from
of them.
column B.
But the both.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
I did have to laugh the other day on the Dana Mouse released. I literally started streaming half an hour before, watched the release, got straight onto the first server I could, and going back to talking about Australians and Don Sibley, he comes into my chat and goes, "Oh, so playing with Shroud today then, are we?" I was like, well, you know, if you want to hit him up and send him my way, by all means, but somehow I don't think so.
But no, it is great to be seeing those sort of numbers, because the flow on trickle down effect is, you know, I don't know if Shroud's rating anyone smaller, but I do know for sure that Smoke is fantastic. You know, he's rated me, he's rated Lax, he's rated Benfruit, he's rated so many other people. And Shroud playing with Smoke's numbers have doubled, if not tripled, the amount of people he gets watching him. 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people now. And he's rating people and introducing people to the likes of Ceramore, Lax, and all the other people who are playing on day one. And they're flowing on and rating, you know, the other smaller streamers. So it's a great little flow on trickle down effect that's having big positives for the content creator community, and also, you know, just getting so many more new eyes on the game. I do want to do. It is a topic we may as well do it now that we're talking about Shroud. I don't think I did write it. It's my one of my highlights. And now, sorry about Smoke. I want to do a big shout out to not just the mods in Smoke's chat, but also the community. I've been watching Smoke a fair bit lately, and with 5,000-6,000 people watching him, they're doing a first-class job in explaining DayZ, because we all know what it's like when people come in and go, so what do you do in this game? So many people struggle with the concept of what DayZ is. This free, do what you will game, and the
Running
mods are
sim.
doing a fantastic job. What was that, the one?
It's a running sim, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's not?
But
It's a
yeah,
psycho
no,
sim.
big shout out to all of them. I don't know. I know a couple of times when I've been in Shroud's chat, there's been a few people in there trying to answer questions, but I kind of gave up on it
How do
because
you answer a
unless you're
question in that?
it's usually sub only. Shroud's chat, understandably, but I'm not going to throw money at him just so I can answer questions for people. I prefer to be in Smoke's channel, who I do subscribe to, because he's just doing so much good work for DayZ at the moment. And I think I've been subbed in for about 20 months now. But yeah, it's just good to see such good positive stuff happening around Smoke's channel and his servers. And shameless plug, don't forget to submit your questions for the spotlight on Smoke as well. So yeah, I'm quite excited for that one.
That'll be a really good one.
It will. It will.
It's about time you brought that fucking series back as well.
It's just hard fitting it in. Like the last two people I've tried to do it, I just haven't been able to tie down to do an interview with, just due to obligations on their behalf and conflicting stream times and all the rest of it. But the one with Smoke, I'll make happen come hell or high water. The Long Dark, we talked about it a bit before, but I've got the link here. If you are loving Namolsk, I can't. I know this is a DayZ podcast, but I can't recommend this game enough. It is, you can clearly see the influences that Adam's probably taken from the Long Dark for DayZ. But if you're looking for a good single player game where it's PvE, you cannot do better than the Long Dark. It is probably the best survival game out there on the market, barring DayZ because of the threat of other players, as well as the environment. But the Long Dark, it's got a weird, quirky sort of animation style to it. If you've never played it, wait for it to go on sale or just buy it if you've got the money. It's a fantastic game. It's got a story mode as well if you're into that sort of stuff. Me, I've dabbled in the story mode and was like, not really interested. The actual survival side of the game is fucking phenomenal. So please check it out. A lot of it
It's
will make
hard.
sense for you for what Adam's done with the moles.
It's not easy. Just be prepared. It's a difficult game.
Yeah,
Adam's put some hours into that game.
yeah, it is not an easy game, especially when you ramp up the level. The one where there's absolutely no gun and you get no knife and you got to craft it. Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! I haven't even made it to crafting a knife yet. But it is an amazing game.
If you're a fan of survival, it's one of the must plays.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I also want to do a shout out for those that don't know. Now I'm guessing if you are in here because you love DayZ, there's a good chance some of you may love Armor as well. Well, I found out just the other day that there is a Armor podcast as well. So you could almost say they're like a sister podcast to us. So chuck them a
Unofficial.
follow. Yeah, chuck them a follow. If you love Armor,
So they'll know when Armor 4 is coming out then, surely.
Yeah.
I love it. Just a joke in Brim's chat there, Archie. Here for Archie's Press Best, of course.
Oh well, thank you. I'm
You
here for
sell
you.
those, don't you, on your site?
No, the lady I had make this, she makes them, but they're $300. They're not cheap, but she makes them from scratch. She's a cosplay costume designer.
Mate, you
She
should
actually
honestly
made me.
you should
She made me
honestly
a
tee something
firefighter
up with her.
jacket too.
You should tee
I'll get
something
it.
up with her, mate, and sell cosplay DayZ related items. Obviously, you probably need to speak to BI about it, but I can't.
I don't know about just a regular generic press vest. I'm sure there's no licensing issue. That's why I had this made.
Yeah.
She made me a firefighter jacket. I'll grab and show you too. I just can't wear it because the sleeves have neon green on them, and it interferes with my chroma key. But
Yep.
also, I live in Florida, and it's like consistently 90 degrees here. So
DayZ 2. Now, this is where I actually reached out to Scotty from the marketing team. So there was a tweet on Twitter basically claiming that DayZ 2 was cancelled. Developed mainly by Bratislava branch, cancelled in 2020 due to the closure of the Bratislava branch. Now, it even made an article on some publication as well, but this BioSteel was releasing it. Now, I reached out to Scotty for a comment for the podcast, and he replied to me, give me 1 sec, let me just find it.
Showing off all your DMs there.
Yeah.
All the different pictures of all these big YouTubers and streamers that you've been chatting up.
leaked.
Test photos for
Leaked.
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Oh, he's broken himself.
Boomer.
let me...
I'd be interested to know how far in the development process they were if they were doing DayZ 2. I would think it'd probably be only concept
never was
phase.
started, let alone cancelled.
Yeah,
This is
concept
one
phase.
of the
Yeah.
projects that didn't pass inception, incubation, pre-production. Not the first, not the last. It's very normal in gaming industry that projects don't pass some stages before having a green light in development. So to answer your question,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
the title is not true.
What's
And
the
that's
point?
straight from the horse's mouth.
What's the point of a sequel in 2021? I mean, you could just I feel like when games put out sequels now, it's just a reskinned version of the predecessor.
Same with movies.
It's like
When-
Ark
They're-
and Atlas, isn't it?
Yeah,
but-
There's one game that
know?
needs a
They
sequel.
released these alleged screenshots as well. Now, I'm sorry, but that does not even look like DayZ quality. That looks more like PUBG style graphics. That is not what I would have expected from a DayZ 2 title.
Cash grab, mate.
Could be,
Probably
picture
because
could
it's
be
made
from
in a
anything.
pre-made engine.
Yeah, it could be from anything.
Some
though.
engine they didn't develop.
I think maybe
I've
it's
seen a
just
few people
I think it may
debunking
be
it.
just concept art, if anything.
Somebody could have literally
Possible.
just made that one fucking environment just for that picture there.
I
And
think it's
people will go
concept
through a
art
lengthy
myself.
process to
Sumac
just
said in
make you
chat
believe it.
he's working on the Molsk 2. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no truth to it, folks. So yeah, a lot of hullabaloo about nothing.
Well, and I think this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Why would you want to expel so much funding to making a sequel to it when you should be focusing on rectifying issues that we already have?
True.
I like
It
DayZ's
just seems
comment. in chat.
counterintuitive.
We are not finished DayZ 1, never mind 2 for now. Love it. Absolutely love it. What else did we have? Okay, so DayZ Twitter Watch. We don't know. Have they announced the awards yet? DayZ put out a tweet asking people to nominate them for the Labour of Love Award. Do we have any news on that?
Not that I've seen. I think.
think-
Oh,
Yeah, just check
decided
Steam
that,
and it'll
has it?
eventually come up somewhere.
yeah, I think they haven't actually closed the voting yet, so I can't imagine they'll close that until closer to Christmas. I would have thought. I haven't
You'd
looked.
think so, yeah. That
I haven't
they
looked
keep
to
it
see
over
what
a
the
month or
dates
so,
were.
you'd think.
DayZ won in its category last year. Can win again.
Well, that's the thing is, I went on to try and like vote a few bits and bobs, and for some reason, it wasn't letting me.
Nope.
Like
they-
when I was doing it.
You can't do the same game.
Voter
for two
fraud,
different
mate.
awards.
Voter fraud.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
so-
going to say it.
Oh, Donut Tramp will be very upset with me doing all these voter frauds.
Don't worry, at the last minute, all the ballots will show up. You're good.
But yeah, no, I really hope they do well because that title was almost like it was invented for DayZ. But then again, I did see Arma 3 also nominated themselves for the same award. So yeah,
Oh, it was any game that was over 5 years old.
rivalry, eh? Well, the Hunt's Call to Wild was also nominated.
Oh, there you go.
Same category.
Yeah, but they don't have fishing.
That's not getting no votes.
Give me fucking fishing, mate, and I'll be, yeah.
Now, the last topic I had before we go into the spotlights from the rest of you is they announced the end of Barely Infected's Village server. How many of you here, put your hand up if you've ever played the Village?
Not for
Oh,
a long time, but yeah, back
it
at
was
the
it was
beginning.
such a great idea. I remember at the time, you know, the whole VoIP only, and you know the communal base, and then you had the bandits always trying to raid it, and they always kept them moving the location and kept it kind of semi-secret, and everyone was running around the map asking, "Do you know where the village is? Do you know where the village is?" And it was just such a great concept, and sad to see an end of, you know, something that was again one of those, you know, it'll always be remembered. You know, it summed up Barely Infected pretty well. You know, this nice guy doing a nice thing on just a nice server.
Yeah, it's. I think unfortunately the downfall would most likely be Discord and third party audio platforms. The fact of the matter is that people would just quite easily hop into Discord and just
Yeah.
completely negate the fact that people would find out organically where it was. I feel like DayZ itself would be infinitely better if people didn't have access to third party audio.
Definitely
it was
more
kind of
immersive.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you, I don't understand people going. You're entering someone else's house. Abide by their rules. It was not a groundbreaking thing. I know some people did it accidentally, but yeah, I even had an incident with a streamer where they robbed me, and they were communicating in VoIP, and Renee and Spaggy actually found out about it, and they just sent him a message and said, "Look, you're not meant to be using VoIP on this server." But it kind of, yeah, I got robbed fair and square, but they were actually talking to each other, and there's a chance I may have actually heard them and been able to approach them, and or you know, yeah. But it was sad, but it was a great server. And you know, I know Spaggy's still got plenty of other servers, but it's a sad one to see end because so many people have got great memories from the village.
For sure. I know the Alternative Society, which is my group, had its roots in the village.
Yep.
So there's a lot of history from there too. So quite a sad occasion.
Very, very sad. Very, very sad. I'm hoping we see some more from Barely Infected. He's been pretty quiet lately, but he still lurks around there.
I wonder though whether this is the village closing has got anything to do with Wayward Jack's tweets from November 29th. Because I've got it up in front of me here, and it says, "Hello streamers, we'd prefer it if you didn't stream from the village server, as it's immediately meta, which is against the rules of the server, without a prior chat about protecting the village by not streaming where it is and what it is. We realize it's an incredibly difficult situation, but come have a chat and we'll work out if we can. Thanks for your understanding. Protect the village." So I wonder if it's whether that ties in what the actual process was around those tweets, and now the village unfortunately no longer existing.
Because it just sort of seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, those tweets. I mean, he hadn't tweeted anything in like 3 days, and then it was November 26th. He put up a GIF, and the caption was, "We tend to not talk about bans in public, more to protect you than us," and that was it. And then there was one, "We're seeing some confusion around the village communities. Don't use third-party comms on the village rule on our DayZ servers. Use this handy guide." And there was a picture with just basically the information. You know, if you're on the village, don't fucking use Discord, essentially. So I wonder if those tweets had something to do with.
Why they
They're obviously intertwined. They're obviously intertwined there somehow.
Maybe it was just becoming too much of a drama for them.
That tweet reminds me of another one that I've seen recently-ish from a game dev, where they stated that Twitch streamers or streamers in general should have to pay a licensing fee for broadcasting single-player games.
I saw that tweet.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was all dealt with.
They just give anybody a check mark over there.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he was like a Ubisoft.
Yeah,
person.
I wonder if
like
he's
a
still
UB
there.
kind of thing.
That went down like a lead balloon. That tweet.
Please don't stream a set.
Yeah.
Got ratioed.
Feel like that's a fast way to kick people out of your community.
Yeah, instantly just ruin your gaming community.
And if Vubi wants to do it, start with Battlefield. Let's see how many people last.
Yep.
Okay, folks, now we are on to the highlights. So what we'll do is we'll start from the bottom right. Keegan, what's been your highlight of the last week in DayZ?
Yeah, I said it in chat earlier. So yesterday I was playing on an Amalsk server, and I met a random guy, and I played with him for 6 hours using voice in game, and I didn't get his name, and that was probably one of the best experiences I've had in DayZ in years. So if he does catch the podcast, thank you, dude. But,
What was his name in game?
He called himself Danny, so
Danny?
that's all I know. Yes.
Well, we know it was,
that was
Danny,
loads of
we know
fun.
it was a Danny boy, or you'd be dead. But yeah. And what about you, Jacob?
Highlights. Well, I've been like kind of away, but I would say my interactions with Nomalsk as well. Like I met about 20 people on a day one today. Yeah, I did not get killed once by any of them.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just basically talking, surviving, and just respawning because you starve to death or you get too cold.
Yep.
And that was it. Yeah.
Gravity Wolf?
With and expanding on Namalsk specifically, I really feel like it's reviving that help the survivor out kind of mentality, and I'm really enjoying it. I posted a tweet, I think it was a couple days ago or a day ago now. I think that this is really going to be the thing that gets me more play hours and not dev hours, because for the last 2.5 years with Mark, I've code, and that's it. So it's really still is, but I really feel
I only
that
played yesterday.
for me, Namalsk is going to give me that freshness that I've been wanting.
Diddy, I can promise you, mate, once you fire up Namalsk, mate, you won't want to put DayZ down again. It is just a breath of fresh air, mate.
I'm keen, man. I'm keen.
I haven't played it yet either, Diddy. So just hit me up if you want to do a duo.
Yeah, sure thing, brother. Absolutely.
That's the thing
I'll
that
hit up the DM.
Livonia was like nice to have a DLC, but it didn't bring any new mechanics and experience to the game. It was just doing the same thing in a different place. Whereas Namalsk now is like it forces you to play DayZ sort of as it was intended.
I think that's the big change, isn't it? That's the big difference between Livonia and Namalsk is exactly what Ben just said. Livonia offered nothing new apart from new locations. So I think that's why this has become such a hugely popular thing.
Brim,
I think
you are going to
if
be
you're still
running
watching,
around.
Adam.
You are going to be running around doing fucking parkour with the amount of stretching you're going to have to do.
If you're there, Adam, there's no sneaky
in
way
those.
that you can disable third-party audio by any chance. That'll just make it even better.
Oh yeah. I personally love using in-game VoIP. I really do. Radio.
Oh, yeah,
That's how it
sure.
used to be. Like you can actually hear people, and like it's also clear compared to like 3 years ago. It was all like staticky. You can't make out what they're saying.
They need to add more radio frequencies as well. We touched on this before, but they need to add more radio frequencies.
Oh, definitely. There's not enough for how big some of these servers are getting.
Or fix the radio bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear people with a radio with no battery in it sometimes, and it's just meta. Because I only play on like hardcore RP servers.
Well, this comes back to what we talked about last week, Brim. They do now need, I think, to sit back and just polish the game as it is and get it to a really shiny state, and then start bringing in some new stuff. There's enough in there, and there's enough mods for the variety that people want if they want it. But let's focus on those core elements. Getting cards more stable and fixing some of the little features of the game that we don't say bugs, we call them features here. But yeah, and just making it really sing.
Yeah,
they
like
met every promise they made this year. Four updates, and they met it. So now let's polish it.
And it was solid updates as well. It wasn't just crappy updates.
Yeah.
It was it was full of good stuff that we all wanted. So I likened it to Rainbow Six Siege with their Operation Health they did, where they didn't release any new guns, new characters, nothing for a couple of months. They just concentrated on fixing the bugs. So I think that's exactly what DayZ needs. And yes, I did up my stretch to
Brandon,
1,000.
You got 15 stretches to do. You got to do that now
I'm gonna,
individually because you upped it to 15. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
Price,
See, I
price
have one of
gouging.
mine where I take my glasses off for 5 minutes. That's a pain in the ass.
I'm getting rid of that fucking command before long, I tell you.
Yeah.
You guys talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just be over here breaking my various ligaments.
Well,
We'll be
before
critiquing
you
your,
go, what's your highlight?
Yes, highlight Septic Falcon, the man himself. He put out a video about obviously on the mouse and his interactions and stuff. And funny story, within I would say within half an hour, certainly less than an hour of Namalsk going live, jumped onto one of the servers, one of the 20 servers that were released alongside it, and I got mistaken for Septic Falcon. Someone literally said, "Are you Septic Falcon?" And I was like, "Nope, I appreciate it, but it's definitely not. I am definitely not him. I fucking wish I was." So
Can we
I'll
get
take
that
that.
guy more loved? He needs to go back to the status he was at years ago. He is one of the most
Agreed.
underrated people as well right now. He is an absolute god of DayZ, and deserves to be having hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching him like he used to have back in the day.
just get him on the podcast again more often.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how DayZ is at the moment, or how streaming DayZ is. You tend to ebb and flow and peak and trough, and hopefully he's on a big upswing.
I hope so as well. Daone, any highlights for you, mate, while Brim stretches away in the background there?
Don't mind me.
It's been really mostly a busy week with preparing for Namalsk. Kind of like a last minute scramble. I just put things together and hosted a server. It was really the highlight of the week for me. It was awesome watching it live, and the crazy influx of players actually hit a record, a 24-hour peak, like really fast, with all the people excited jumping on the game. It even crashed third-party launchers. Guys, stop using third-party launchers, please.
Yeah.
The official
Yeah,
launcher is
fuck that.
perfectly
Fuck off,
fine.
launcher.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
you can't use third party with my mod.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's about it for me, yeah.
I had something to throw in real quick if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the one thing that I notice a lacking of, and a lot of people don't know it exists, is the feedback tracker for Bohemia.
Mhm.
And there's a bug that's been kind of plaguing the modding community. It seems to be an issue with the compiler, the server halting.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's relatively annoying, and it's not anyone's specific fault. But the more community feedback and the more community testing we do, it's just like when DayZ goes and throws up, "Hey, get on the experimental server. We need to test this." It's really, really, really good for not only modders themselves, but players and streamers to ask their community to go help out the community, because it really does help us grow.
Yeah, it's out right now, this experimental build. If you're a server owner and you want to test out mixing up mods, please do it now. And any results you have, share it with the feedback tracker, because this has been one of the most annoying bugs. You know, maybe players will know about it in the background because server owners take care of things, but there's issues with like mixing up mods together and you want to run a big collection. But yeah, hopefully the devs are on a fix with this patch, and it's live right now on experimental.
Good point. Good point. Anything else, Gravity? Any other highlights?
I actually wanted to ask a small question. You have 4 well-known modders here. As time progresses, ideas like the idea creation process slows down. But a lot of the times, a lot of the ideas that we receive from players are just plainly unreachable. What do you want to see out of DayZ modders in 2021?
I like, me personally, I think Adam really, really opened us up to, he made changes to the core game. Now, about the only other thing I can think of off the top of my head is medical attention, and now Hell rework. I want to see more things like that. You know, more mods like what Adam has released, a map and a mod, you know, effects like the EVR storm, just things to, you know, give DayZ a new lease on life. That's me personally. I would love to see, you know, maybe a jungle map and some stuff unique to a jungle, you know, maybe some fucking mystical shadow beast, fucking, I don't know, whatever. But just stuff like that is great because, yeah, there's only so many guns you can add. There's only so many reskinned clothing items. But I think now we need to be looking at more packages like what Adam has done. Obviously, Battle Royale, whatever Diddy's working on, the deathmatch servers, some variations of DayZ to keep the spice alive there.
If I can jump in, besides re-implementation of a lot of the survival mechanics like tripwires and snares and fish traps, which would be
Yes.
fucking
Tripwire.
amazing. I think there's the base building mechanic, which honestly changed the landscape of DayZ literally and the gameplay. I think if they looked more at base building, which is more fortifying right now, for example, if you could, and this sounds far-fetched, but it's really not, if you could do a bridge system of some sort with rope and planks, where you could connect watchtowers, if you could do a stone wall, just like the base wall, like the first floor, because let's be honest, everybody's double stacking walls. If you could just, it would give you another reason besides the flagpole, which is outstanding, and the fireplace, to mine stones with, like, so many people, when I put out the flagpole guide, didn't even know you could use a sledgehammer and a pickaxe to mine stones, and that's been in since 6.3 as far as I remember, or sorry, since 1.0. But if they had, it would be like a European style stone base wall that would be so much stronger to break into, so much more difficult to break into than just a wooden wall. Then you would, the way I do base raids, I just build in. But if you could do something where it with like
a three-tiered system: wood, sheet metal, rock.
Exactly. And if you just think about it, because I worked out a mod concept with the modder who screwed me over, not to bring up old shit, but it was great. It looked great. We used in-game models, and it worked. It was really functional. And you still had the weak point that was the gate, but it really, it's realistic. And if you look at like post-apocalyptic movies, they always do it.
But that's always the case. So gate is a weak point of any structure, any fortification.
The bridge thing too, there's a small mod that we kind of played around with that's already on the workshop with bridges. It looks like some prefabs that they put in, but we kind of did a concept where we built some watchtowers in the forest and then put a bunch of bridges connecting them, and it looked like some crazy ass treehouse post-apocalypse. It looked real, you know what I mean? Where you could stay up there, run tower to tower using the bridges, and shoot down and defend and even hunt. It was great. But I think just those two things added into base building would be an outstanding addition.
I would like to see.
Let me throw my opinion out there as well after you, Boydie. You go first.
No, mate. I was just saying, there's you see stacks of bricks in the game that are just like a visual item. It'd be great if they could be turned into something that you could harvest, like you can harvest stacks of planks and create a brick structure.
Use that system.
Sure. Now, what were you going to say, Diddy?
I am not a fan at all of any modded variant of base building as it currently stands, or any base rating system as it currently stands. I think nothing has hit the right mark yet. I'm not a fan of the RNG running around trying to find explosives to blow up a wall at all. I feel like the best mechanic is the one that DayZ has, but I feel it's too easy. So for me, I'll give you an example of what I've got. It's not perfect, but this is my thoughts processes on it, is adapt the base flag mod so that it restricts what people within that radius can do. So the way that I've got mine set up is people can't place an object on the ground. People cannot dismantle anything as long as the base flag is active. So you can't take barbed wire off a wall. You can't, jump over the wall and dismantle it from the inside. You have to be able to get to the base flag first. So you can destroy it. So you can shoot a wall down, which is the vanilla mechanic, but you can adjust those values to make it easier or harder to destroy those walls. So I think the current mechanic that DayZ has got is good. It's balanced, because if you imagine if you're trying to raid a base and it's going to take you 1,500 rounds to break down a wall, for example, that's going to make a lot of noise and attract a lot of people to the area. So you're going to have players in Overwatch positions, making sure no one's creeping up on you, blah, blah, blah. and it creates more engaging systems. So, knowing how detailed the DayZ dev team are when it comes to the things that they've implemented well, the survival mechanics is the most recent one. I feel like they need to have another look at base building and just make some adjustments. So give us more than just a watchtower and a fence. Give us a few more things there.
Barricading.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all base building is right now anyway, is just barricading.
I would love one day to have an open air base and not have to worry about someone just fucking yeeting themselves over the wall.
Even from a server performance standpoint, like a lot of server owners will know that vanilla base building is terrible for performance, and especially because of the watchtowers. Now, because there's so many, there's such limited parts, everybody's got to make a watchtower. Then or to make a certain type of structure, they have to throw loads of these different pieces together. Whereas if there was more range of parts, it would be a lot better performance-wise because you wouldn't need to be trying to hack together a certain structure made out of watchtowers or
Yep.
It needs a massive overhaul.
I would love to see barricading of existing structures. That to me makes more sense than just building
like the more doors mod, for example.
Yes,
Yeah,
the more doors
mod
is exactly what I'm
boarding
thinking
up
of.
windows and such.
Yeah, there was a boarding up of windows mod at one point. I can't remember
That's
who
more
had
doors.
done it.
More doors.
Yeah, was it right? Yeah, is it still going?
It still works.
It's
but,
got some issues with being able to just deconstruct stuff from outside, and it's a bit janky. But
yeah, there's
concept
no
is
continued
brilliant.
support for it.
The server performance is takes a big hit too because we used it.
Okay.
Because everybody's throwing up little window barricades everywhere. So
I'm going to say something now that I think is probably not going to be very well received. It's probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I very much enjoyed DayZ vanilla base building before they changed it. That whole having to have a hatchet or a hammer, standing there, breaking shit down.
The 15, 20 minutes.
Yep, loved it. Absolutely.
That's why I like the shooting down, because it's like the hatchet, but with noise.
Wasn't vanilla like way shorter though? I feel like I watched some streamers.
Oh yeah, it was,
vanilla was like
a
minute.
I think it depends a bit on server style. Like for me, like I've got a PvP server, so the raiding with bullets just doesn't work at all. Because on a PvP server, you can't make bullets rare because everybody wants to shoot each other. So,
but it means that people have to have the storage to be able to keep the bullets. If you want to set it to 1,500, 2,000 rounds with it.
Yeah, there's different ways of balancing it. But I do
just
think
it take a lot more bullets to shoot.
It depends on server style a bit.
It's really just Mosin rounds and buckshot and slugs that you want to use on base raids anyway. So you can use
nerf those buckshot down.
Yeah.
Who were we up to? So we've Daone, did we do your highlight? Yeah, we did you. Broom, we've done you. Diddy.
Yep.
Highlight of the last week, buddy.
Highlight of the last week. Well, it has to be the Miles, surely. Just the fact that it's reinvigorated the player base has been the biggest thing. It's brought people back who have been away from the game for 12, 18 months just to come back and explore and enjoy something new. So that's been a big thing for DayZ for sure.
I think the best part of it for me has been Blizzards. Blizzards were just a stroke of fucking genius. I still remember just being in absolute awe in my first Blizzard going, what is happening? This is a whiteout. I can't fucking see. And then my temperature just plummeted and I had to run inside a building. I was lucky I was near one. I can't imagine how scary it would be being caught in a blizzard out in the middle of the fucking wilderness or trying to go across the ice floes. That'd just be a terrifying experience. But yeah.
Now, if I may add, the one thing that with bringing all these players back, I kind of have a dream, and I kind of have I really want to see this eventually. I run into a random person, they don't necessarily play DayZ, but they had played DayZ, and they state, well, isn't that a dead game?
Yeah.
Well, we're slowly getting to the point where we're not. Like I said, we went from 6,000 players at peak in a 30-day period to going to 33,000 players. And even games like Gary's Mod and stuff like that still get 50,000 players. And no one says, well, isn't it dead? So we're slowly getting it into that point where people are like, oh, I can go play this game because plenty of people play it.
There's
so
much life left in it.
Yeah, so much life left. And we only have like the dev team, we have content creators, we have community modders, we have all of us to thank, including the players themselves. I explain to a lot of people when they come to me asking me help for the tools, they're like, oh, you're the first one to help me. Because without you, nobody cares about what I make. You have to respect and love the work and the love that these players that are returning or even coming in new that are giving the community. I feel like
Yeah,
we get a
very
lot
well
of
said.
praise.
True.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
the Steam global stats, DayZ is currently 27th for current number of players playing it.
Wow.
Pretty
Very
dead, isn't
nice.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot
yeah.
of this
I'm
Really
just
fucking dead.
I've just got the Steam charts for DayZ up. All-time peak of 45,398, but currently playing an hour ago 32,972, and a 24-hour peak of over 33,000. So
You've gotten a mouse to
34,000 right
thank.
now.
yeah, it is far from dead.
There'll be more on tomorrow as well because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sunday is always the busiest day.
I do see within the next couple of months, if the modding community, content creators are all keep up with the good positive energy and spreading of useful information to newer players, I really do see us possibly hitting, even surpassing the previous peak cap.
That's my dream. That is my dream to see
Yeah, compare
DayZ
those stats.
surpass.
Compare those stats to Dead Matter or Miscreated.
What do you call
or
it?
7
come
days
on.
to die.
To
Okay.
Die.
Was it Derp Matter on it?
Derp
Derp Matter.
matter. Derp matter.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah. All those DayZ killers that did absolutely nothing. The flash in the pan.
All those DayZ killers that barely tickled under the nutsack of DayZ at
They
this
get
point.
streamed for like a week and then you never hear them again.
What was
Oh,
the
I've
other
got to
one?
say, I've been trying to
Dead side.
Scum. I want to have another look at Scum. It's got
Scum,
some
yeah.
interesting stuff happening, but yeah, it just fizzled out.
Yeah. There's
Once you lose the player base, it's hard to get them back.
Yeah.
Ben,
DayZ has shown that
highlight
it's
of the
possible
last
to-
week.
Well, I mean, it might as well just be called the mouse highlight, really. But I have got a shout out to give actually. A few of you will know Gaming Nana streamer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love her,
streams
yeah.
with, yeah, she streams with Papa as well. Well, her daughter has recently been joining them on DayZ, and it's been absolute banter, funny to watch. And she's just started streaming now, and she's already just got affiliated yesterday. So
Nice.
I wanted to give
Yeah.
her, I wanted to give her a shout out. I'll drop a link to her channel in the podcast agenda, and you can throw it in the chat.
I got to say as well, Ben, you've been having
you
some
go.
decent numbers in your stream, mate.
Yeah, I'm pretty blown away by it all at the moment. To be honest with you, just plodding through. Especially since I know I've got so much to improve as well, and I know that I'll be able to concentrate on it a bit more in the coming weeks. Now that we've got updates and everything out of the way. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, mate. It's been good. I'm enjoying it.
Archie, what about you, mate? Highlight for the last week or so?
I just want to say thank you to Sumrak for putting out Namalsk for free to everybody, for defibrillating the community and getting I think that's the number one reason, obviously, why our numbers are so high right now on DayZ, and that's just PC players right there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all the work you put into that, man. It's way, 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 way better than I could have imagined, and I haven't even played it
Yeah.
yet. I've just been watching streams, and you went above and beyond, man. And I'm not trying to be obsequious to you in any way because everybody knows me. I'm brutally fucking honest. The shit looks great. I mean, it's outstanding. I can't say enough. And another person I want to shout out, cat named Marks with a bunch of S's.
Yes.
He's putting out a lot of really cool
He's
guides
killing it.
and like news and updates and stuff like that. Putting them out like multiple per week. I don't know how he finds time to do it. But
His channel is just popping right now.
really-
Oh, it's going like that.
constantly in my recommended, which that when the algorithm picks you up, you're destined for greatness. So congratulations on that. And I see nothing but good things for that guy. So thank you so much.
he's buying subs.
He's popping that good content out though.
Yes.
Right? And it is good content, yeah. He's streaming as well. I think like 5 days a week. Something he streams on YouTube.
I think so,
every
yeah.
night. And then he's in everybody's chats as well.
Yeah.
supporting him and on Twitter as well.
He's in my chat right now, and he's always here for the podcast every week, pretty much since day one as well. He's been a big supporter of the podcast. So
Legend.
yeah, a lot of love.
Fuck
Dude,
off,
I
dude,
rage.
I rage.
Shocking behavior.
I look, the Thirst Lord is here from Dig. Guys, thank you so much. This has been a really good episode, and I think it's been a few of us have been a little bit worried about how the Christmas special. Yes, I'm going to do another shameless plug of the Christmas special, folks. 19th of December, starting at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be, I think, 8 a.m. UTC. So what's
yeah,
that?
it should be about 8 a.m. for us here in the UK.
I think it'll be
so
9.
it's gonna
You
be a
guys are on
messy
daylight
day, that
savings
is.
now, aren't you?
yeah, we start the podcast at 2 p.m. our time now, not 3 p.m.
2 p.m.
So
yeah.
yeah, work
It'll
out the
be-
time zones for yourselves because I can't.
But
That's
it's
gonna
going to
A
be
little bit more
monster show.
friendly to the Australian people.
Pretty much everyone you're
Yeah.
seeing here tonight is being invited back. They can stay as long as they want. They can just pop in and say Merry Christmas, and we'll be doing some giveaways and whatever else we can wrangle in there.
I'd like to throw in for those giveaways.
Oh,
I'm in a financial situation that I really want to start giving back into the community, and that's the one thing that I also want to do with Deathmatch and Survival under the VPP name, is that, just the exposure alone is something that money could never pay for. So I want to start giving back to the community, doing more giveaways, contacting you, Boydie, getting some merch from you, adding that into packages, and
Yep.
just overall doing more community events. Because if you look at large communities, they do these community events and they do bring more players in. They don't expect them, but
yeah.
it really does drive our numbers up, and it really gets people engaged with what we're about, what we wish to see from our game, and so on and so
Well,
forth.
Seeing as all the DayZ staff are in Brim's chat now, and I've brought this up before, can we have a fucking DayZ event, please? Like
Yes.
all these other games that have great communities, right? Our community's better than a lot of them, and we haven't got a community event. We don't do anything every year.
I want
do
a
something.
DayZ Battle Royale event. I want Smoke.
Anything.
I want Shroud. I want the Running Man, Toprek, Minder, Diddy, Archie, fucking every motherfucker in this big Battle Royale that goes for an hour or so, just playing it out, highlight it, make a big song and dance of it, and get
Do that at a gaming event as well.
Yeah,
You know,
like what Batty did.
Yeah.
She used to invite us to the medieval event. I got to go to one of them. I got to meet Mr. Moon in game, and just streamers sharing streams, and just get some hype going in the community. Yeah,
this game's very community driven. So, the words coming from Gravity and the one their sentiments at the moment for giving back to the community, I wholeheartedly agree.
they
with
own Survivor games. Bring
and
back the
DayZ
original
devs-
Survivor games.
DayZ devs, give us an event that we can go to.
And
Like
if there isn't
DayZ
an
Con or
availability,
something.
allow us to buy bulk official merch for this. If we got to
Yes.
sign up and make sure you know who we are, I don't care what the process is. I want to be able to provide this stuff because typically it goes to streamers, and that's perfectly fine. It should go to streamers. You see them, the DayZ hat, you immediately know what they're about, what they're playing.
I would
Exactly.
I would love a few of those hats to be able to give away, because it's probably Diddy you wearing it. When you wear it on stream, how many times have you had people go, "Oh my god, that's a cool hat. Where do I get it from?" And you can't even tell them to go and buy it from the store.
Well, I say that there is a lot of Bohemia merch available that you can purchase there, but yeah, it would be good for the hat to be on the shop for sure.
Yeah, or even just as something that can be given away in by them. Keep it as some sort of sought after item, but something that can be given away. They give them away. I'd love to have seen them give them away to the people who won the base challenge and got a flag in that.
And I've asked them for Livonia keys, and they've gladly given me a few Livonia keys to give away. And it was really nice of them to do something.
Yeah.
And I was willing to buy them. And they were like, "No, we can't really sell them to you, but here you go." And that's kind of what I feel like we could do is, like, if you need to know who we are to make sure A, we get it, and B, that they actually are giveaways, by all means, let's spread the word. Let's get us back on the map even more so than we already are.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's
podcast.
obviously
Flicking
streamers
this
give
with a
out.
Monday meeting and slapping it on the table. Listen to this. We are working on something for Christmas, but pushing on more functionality for future events and loot drops. Noted, guys. That's from the DayZ official account.
Thank you,
Very
BI.
nice.
So
Thank
you all
you.
have to make
We
partners.
love you.
I work for partner.
I just want to give one last quick shout out there before we go wrapping anything up. I did notice that that Miss Fu, I think it was, had dropped a bit. Yeah, it was there. Dropped a bit of information in my chat. Apparently, I've just checked it on Twitter as well. Loyal Patriot last night streamed and
Yeah.
raised almost $14,000 in
Yes.
7
numbers.
hours.
Big numbers.
14 grand.
Wow.
That's more than I make in like 3 fucking years.
What's he putting a
He's a
check in
legend.
his house? or what?
He's a good man and an OG of
Yeah.
DayZ. Please,
Mm,
he is
one
one.
of the originals.
Follow that motherfucker on Twitter as well. He is
He was one of the
most
first 3 I
wholesome
discovered.
guys. And fuck me, if you love food, you're gonna hate following him on Twitter because that guy knows how to cook a barbecue.
Yeah.
He knows how to cook a fucking barbecue, an American style. He's always smoking something. Apparently, he owns a farm, and he's just a wholesome, down to earth, good old boy. I love the guy,
Yeah, he's entertaining as well.
and he's got a voice that would make you seriously question your
Yeah,
sexuality.
he's in the sexual voice brigade of DayZ.
Yes, he
Got
is.
like taupe and septic.
If-
Marx is getting in there, you know. His voice is all right. There's a few. Yeah, he's in the sexual voice brigade in DayZ.
Well, it would be good to see him be an announcer for the Battle Royale event we were speaking of.
Yes.
Oh,
I think he'd
casting
be
it.
really, really good. Yeah, be a caster for it. I think he'd have a great voice and a lot of good
He
insight.
brings some
with
energy
my-
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bordy, what's your spotlight?
Okay, I will. Foxy has just put in the chat. I am going to put myself as the spotlight. I now have 2 servers. We have Dean's Beans, which is kind of on the back burner a little bit now with the Moles just having come out. But I also want to plug Foxy Pote's Blackout servers, of which I have backed one for here in Australia. And Foxy has done a lot of fucking hard work. We're creating some really cool custom mods, items, and gear for the game. And it's got some pretty cool mods, including one I want to give a shout out to, which is Searchable Corpses. I highly recommend it, even for PvP servers, because if you kill that bloke, you got to spend about 30 seconds actually searching him before you can access his inventory. So it's
That's cool.
It's a very, very cool little function in that you've got to basically secure the area before you can go in and loot. Also, infected, you have to search them, but they don't take as long. But a player, I think it's probably about 20 to 30 seconds before you can actually access the loot. And that's just you sitting there, not just doing the wiggle and the jiggle and the hopping around so people can't shoot you while you're moving side to side. You've got to sit there and actually be on the body, holding an animation to open up the inventory. So yeah, it's a
I
great
like
little
that.
server. Plus, the other thing with these servers is all the rage at the moment is not base building. No base building on the Blackout servers, just stashes, and it's a perfect win for Namolsk. I feel Namolsk is maybe a bit too small for bases, but yeah. Please check out the DayZ Blackout number 3 or number 1 or 2 or 4. He's also opened one in the US as well. So
Check 'em all.
again. Namolsk is where it's at, folks. All the cool kids are playing
Definitely.
Namolsk.
Yep. And I just want to give just one last quick little bit of promotional stuff to throw out there very quickly. In about 15 to 18 hours from now, I am co-streaming with Sergeant Raging Snake. We're gonna get some mouse gameplay in. So it'll be like tomorrow lunchtime UK time. So I'm gonna message him after the podcast and sort out the finer details of servers and where we're meeting and all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, tomorrow afternoon, about 15 to 18 hours from now, I'll be jumping on with him. So he's a member of Running Man's Survivor stream team. He's been a big supporter of mine. He's raided me several times. He's a fucking lovely bloke. So I've left a link to his channel in our chats here. So you should definitely go and check him out
Can you
because he's
state
fucking
when
awesome.
you're looking to host the event? so that I can write this down.
Oh, what the with being
Holiday
charged?
event?
Oh, what's that? 19th of December.
And you said you were only going to give your time.
So yeah, so for the Christmas podcast, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be the 19th of December, but it'll be about 8 a.m. UK time. I'm not sure what that is for everybody else.
There may be alcohol involved. There will be alcohol
I
involved.
can say
Oh,
will be.
oh. Okay, I don't know how much we can say just yet, but we are going to be fundraising for a very special reason, and we're going to set some goals. Now, Ben has decided he's going to do the world's hottest chip. I've decided that I'll do a tiered one, where I am eating a chip for maybe every $100 we raise or something like that. A packet of those, the super hot corn chips. Brim is decided he's going to look at a pepper. I don't know.
I recently bought some hot.
All
I
right.
bought a 3-pack of hot sauces recently that are really not hot. They're just basically barbecue sauce, but they came with a extreme spicy chocolate bar. So that's in my refrigerator, ready for the Christmas episode. I'm gonna do something with that.
That's the
All
most
right.
thing I've ever heard.
Can I have like 5 minutes? I'll be right back, but I actually want to throw my hat in the ring to something I'll sacrifice.
Okay.
Okay.
Barbecue is a bit spicy, but I've got.
Honestly, this hot sauce, it's lovely, but it's not as spicy as some of the others I've had.
The-
It
the
is
ones
basically
I'm-
a barbecue sauce.
The ones I'm going to be eating, Dude I Rage did on his stream. I was actually watching it when he did it. It was fucking hilarious. He is not a man who tolerates hot food.
Wait, what are they called?
Or if he does, then I may be in over my head. If he can tolerate hot food, because he was fucking hurting when he ate those chips, man.
I gotta try these.
I got to avoid these like the plague.
I gotta
Let's
trick
try.
my son into trying these. Is what I meant.
The challenge one that I'm doing looks like a pretty big deal. I've seen a few
Well, but
people going down.
Your one will have to be like at a massive total. Maybe if we hit the target, you do the world's hottest chip.
There's a good chance I may go under.
So
he says he loves hot food, but those chips, bro, my cheeks were hot the next morning. Which cheeks?
Cheeks, yeah.
Yeah, toilet roll in the fridge ready.
All 4 of them, top and bottom.
Yeah. So what is this fundraiser going towards?
We can't say just yet. I'm in.
Can you send me a message real quick?
I
I'll
can.
message you.
I will.
All right, you
I
go,
might
you
even
go.
invite you to a group chat. But Ben, Brim, I did invite you to it, didn't I, Brim?
I don't know. I can't
don't know.
remember.
If I haven't,
I just want to
will.
know, due to the fact of the nature of my gift, or my contribution as far as the milestone being hit, I just want to make sure it's in a
Good
favor.
taste.
Oh, 100%. 100%. All right, I'm turning on the video.
Oh, there you go, Soft Maiden,
pause,
just for
pal.
you. We might get some Gravity Wolf nudes before long.
All right, so the one thing that I will offer is my whole lock of hair.
Holy!
I
crap.
had Gravity Wolf nudes. I had to come join. What's going on here?
I will shave my head if we meet the last milestone. We do that, and I will gladly take
Holy
every bit
shit,
of hair
that's a
off
lot
my
of
head.
hair as well.
I'll make sure we meet the last.
Then you
milestone.
can
We
make
have
your
got to
video
do
head.
this.
I'll tell you what,
I reckon
fuck
you could
it.
make a piece of DayZ rope out of that.
If we make the goal, I'll shave my hair off as well, okay? I'll shave mine as well. Fuck it.
I have an idea. If we meet the goal, Gravity Wolf shaves his head, and what he does is he divides it in half, sends half to Wiidevil
Oh,
and
God.
half to me, so that we can actually finally have some fucking hair.
Hey, give me some too, bro. What are you talking about?
There's enough to go around. There's plenty. There's
That'll be
plenty.
my
We'll
contribution.
keep it in the community.
There you go.
We'll send Adam a little box of hair, just a little lock of it.
All right, if you hit the contribution, I'll pull my tooth and send it to Boydie. How about that? Yeah, send me that DM though too. I'll jump in on that, man.
Awesome,
sure.
awesome. Honest to God, guys, this is why I love this fucking show so much, man. These random moments, Clement Dab just jumping in here, and I love this show. Diddy, thank you so much for coming on, mate. All of you, thank you so fucking much. This show is just the best thing that's ever fucking happened to me, that I've ever been involved in.
Oh,
It's fucking
Be
amazing. I
quiet.
love you all so much.
We
It's
love you
definitely
too.
a good one.
Jeff. What
Yeah, the
was
fucking
that?
dog loves it. The dog loves
What
it.
was that?
But no, thank you all so much, everyone. Next week's guest, Brim, you're hosting next week, aren't you? Or is it
Am
Ben?
I?
I believe it's me. I think.
Let me
Would you
double
like to
check.
announce who the guest is?
I think it is me, and if it is myself and Fourth from Base Building Plus mod.
That's
They'll be
cool.
talking about.
He's a cool guy and he likes to talk, so it should be brilliant for the podcast.
Looking
does,
forward to that one.
He's
Professional
a talented bloke.
commission models and stuff.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
he
are
does
right.
some really
It is
good work
Ben.
too.
It is Ben and Fourth from Base Building Plus next week. Just double checked in the
Yep.
in the Discord. It definitely is.
They've got
Fantastic.
plenty to talk about with their mods, so yeah, it should be a good show. As always.
Definitely.
Going to give expansion a bit of a run for their money with their base building, eh?
Base Building Plus is actually a really good base
Silent
building mod.
from Mango there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. No, it's a good mod. It's a great mod.
Yeah,
It
they're
is,
put,
it
they're
is.
putting in they're putting in effort in there. They're putting in effort.
Actually, and Clement, before we go, mate, did you help out with the moles?
I did, yes.
Thank you so much, mate. Whatever you've
Absolutely.
done, you've added to the magic that is just, enamored. Probably, I reckon, a good 75 to 80% of the DayZ community. I know there's people out there who aren't fussed with it, but the majority of us, it's just the best fucking thing ever, man. So, yeah, again, like Ben says, man, you just seem to come out of nowhere and you've just blown us away with your skill and your talent and all the rest of it, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Happy to contribute, guys. I'm glad you guys like it.
These poor console kids, man. They're so
I
thirsty.
know.
I do feel
If we
for
could
them.
do something, we would, but sadly, it's not possible right now.
Yeah.
I've had people in my chat already today saying, "Can we get the mouse gun console?"
They'd sooner buy a PC.
Yeah, you can. It's about $600 DLC. You go on Amazon and you have to buy the computer, and yeah, then you can get it on console. Yeah.
Hey, Gravity Wolf, what's going on with you and Soft Maiden, mate? He's sending you DMs now.
I haven't received a DM, but I've been reading it, and I appreciate all the kind words.
Oh, you know I'm in his
Been
DM.
making me blush the whole time.
She's personally gonna pay it just to buy your hair when it.
We're auctioning it off.
Well,
We're
it's been
auctioning it off.
it's been what about 2.5, 3 years. So when I first came back to the DayZ community when modding was released in 2018, I haven't cut my hair since.
Just been sitting in that chair, haven't had time.
Well, I work from
Saving it
home
for
now,
this
so
moment.
18 hours. Let's go.
You've been saving it for this moment, haven't you?
You
Yeah,
lucky
well, a good
bastard.
reason. Well, and my thing was, I contacted a whole bunch of people about donating it to cancer, but more and more research I do, it seems that a lot of them force patients to pay for the wig.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, when someone's already paying for cancer treatment, it's not something I want to ask of someone that's already down on their luck.
You wouldn't think
So-
insurance would cover that either. So
Yeah,
out of
it's
pocket.
not medication or anything. It's a vanity item to them.
Well,
Well,
But I gotta
Appreciate it,
sacrifice
man.
it sometime, and I'm just kind of not looking forward to when my hair's really short. I have a fro, so
I'm just looking forward to receiving a new set of hair in the fucking post at this
same,
point.
same perfect time. It's winter as well. This will do me nicely.
Why do you think I wear a hat? Look at this fucking thing's blinding us all.
hey, you could sell ad space for the podcast up there, dude. Check this
Yeah,
That's a good idea. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold up.
we need a roadside billboard when you got
Brim.
Brim dead.
You can avoid the chili sauce, mate. If we hit the target, you get a DayZ podcast tattoo on your skull.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Guys, thank you all so much. It was a fantastic episode. A nice long one tonight. 3 hours and
Yeah.
20 odd minutes of pure DayZ
About 3.5.
goodness. But I knew this was going to be a big one because we've all done our spotlights and nearly every single one of them revolved around Nomolsk. Nomolsk is brilliant. Nomolsk is just what we needed. It's almost a completely different DayZ experience, and I'm so excited to see what comes from content from everyone and just the experiences that people are having, because it's really creating. It's like a whole new version of DayZ, and it was more than I expected. I expected just a map, and then to get this mod, this hardcore survival mod. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. DayZ's in good hands.
Yeah.
The mask is what Livonia should have been.
Amen.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
level of quality.
100%.
Livonia is just Chinaris with more rain.
And bears before bears were released.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, those things can fuck off.
Hey, they got some new houses
Hey.
and a tree.
What more can you want?
Exactly.
Not
So
much.
Don't forget to check out the website, www.thedayz podcast. We have a Patreon as well, thanks to our 2 Patreon supporters, Jake Snow and Scout Speeder Gaming. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next week on the podcast with Ben hosting and Forth from Base Building Plus. Diddy, thank you again, mate. We kept you up late. What's it?
Always a pleasure.
4:30.
Fucking nearly 4:30 in the morning, 4.5 hours sleep for me, and I'll be up again.
I know, mate, but it was worth it. It was
Yeah,
good
it's
having you
4:30
on, brother.
AM.
Long live the Aussie
Just as well you don't
survivalists,
need
mate.
that beauty sleep.
All the best, everyone, and we will see you next week. Say
Take
bye-bye,
it easy,
everyone.
everyone. It's been a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao for now. And there we go, folks. That was a fantastic podcast. Really, really excited about that one. Yeah, just really, really good. So all the best, everyone. I will see you next week. I need to get some sleep now. It was definitely looks like it was Discord that was causing me the technical issues there, because I went straight back to a green connection after I closed. But yeah. Anyway, folks, all the best. Find someone else to watch. I don't know if anyone's streaming on Twitch, but yeah, you could definitely go check out Ben or Brim while they're still live. But I will see you next week. Ciao for now.